Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it's that time again. Episode 152. All right, what'd I fuck up on? What's going on here? Hatch, bring it on in. What happened?
Nothing.
I just look over at my monitor. I see you and Brando laughing your ass off. So
what? No, I was just smiling.
There had to be some problem with my intro there.
No, nothing was wrong with your intro. I thought it was great. I was like, what the heck just happened?
We were making faces at each other.
Okay, first of all, Brando, this is just my face. Relax.
All right, you two already off the rails. Episode 152. We're back. Stephen Hatch is the other voice you heard. Brando Baird. What's going on, man?
Hey,
dude,
hey, guys.
we're here. It feels good to be back in Ohio.
Cut him off, Hatch.
I didn't know you were going first. You said both of us.
Well, because people already heard your voice. I was letting Brando get his intro moment.
I suppose so. Yeah. I thought we were both introduced, but yeah. As Hatch said, we're back. We're from down in Ohio. A lot cooler here and not as sticky. And I'm very happy to be back in this actually really nice weather.
Yeah,
definitely.
Yeah,
I like the dry heat way more than the humid heat. That is a fact.
I've been forced to get used to it. It's not very fun. But yeah, boys, they went out to NXL, the major that happened this last weekend. So they're gonna have a whole bunch of stories and fun things to talk about. Was able to watch your guys' one game on the live stream, so we will get to that later on as well. But guys, before we do that, we started the show. We gotta talk about our sponsors, NECTR Energy. They're up first. NECTR.energy. Great little awesome website where you can grab this perfect little energy pouch. It's got caffeine and a neurotropic in there. It's gonna get you buzzed up, focused on whatever task is at hand. The big difference, it's not gonna give you that like overly hype feeling where you crash 20 minutes later. I know energy drinks do that for me sometimes. So it's a great kind of balance. It's gonna get you pepped up, but not give you overstimulated. So yeah, go check out their product. They've also got their brain supplements. They've got new versions of the Nectar formula over on their website, nectar.energy. So if you haven't checked it out in a while, it definitely is a great time to go pop back in with those boys. Make sure you're using the promo code MafiaProductions at checkout. It's going to get you a buy two, get one free. So yeah, you can try out a couple different flavors, see if any of their new product is right up your alley. And yeah, we enjoy it. We love the boys over at NECTR. We appreciate their support. And yeah, go check it out for yourself. Up next, we got Welts Clothing, the boys down here in Texas. Shout out to Welts Clothing, by the way. For our Patreon members, we will be giving away a special limited edition headband courtesy of Welts Clothing for this month. They didn't want to be outdone by our next sponsor. We'll talk about them in a minute. But Welts Clothing, they've got a lot of great products over on their website. They just did a restock on their basketball shorts, which are great. They kind of remind me like the old Nike design. I really love them. And they always do a limited edition drop at the beginning of each month, which is Welts Wednesday. So first Wednesday of every month, they got something new, something special, only on the site for a limited time. You got to be quick on those drops. They do sell out very fast. So head on over, weltsclothing.com, promo code FTS at checkout. Save yourself some money. Also let the boys over there know that we're the ones who sent you. We have a great partnership with those guys, some great dudes behind the scenes over there, and yeah, we appreciate their support and hope you guys go check them out as well. And last but not least, definitely not least, Hormesis Paintball. You guys know them, you guys love them. I can't have enough good things to say about them, not just their headbands, not just their apparel, but the things that they're doing in the sport, the 1v1 challenge, the Hormesis production side. We appreciate them. We love their support over here on the show. They're making a lot of these giveaways available. Thank you to the kind man Alex Frazier behind the scenes over there. And yeah, guys, so go check out hormesispaintball.com. New headbands are always dropping. They've always got new stuff over on the site. So if you haven't been over there in a little bit, yeah, go check it out. See what they've got. All right, well, boys, let's get into it. That's our sponsors. Definitely one of our most unique intros. So appreciate that. Definitely caught the audience off guard. I love that as well.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, boys. So NXL Ohio, I guess we'll start out with kind of your guys' side of the event. You know, you're playing over in the semi-pro division. There's definitely some stories I want to talk about from the main field, the pro field side. That's what I was watching all weekend as I was taking part of the action on CureGo.com. But we'll start with you guys. So first game of the event, it was played on the live stream. This is a great little game.
Yep. Dude, appreciate that. We played against BR Factory, the team that has gotten second place the past two events.
Team that won the event. You guys beat them in the prelims.
Yeah. It's crazy how that works.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And let me tell you, that was a great game.
I think you're picking up what I'm putting down here, Hatch.
Yeah, we're fucking ass. That's what I'm picking up.
I'm not picking up that. I'm picking up that you guys have the ability to do so. It's just something happens when you guys get to these non-live stream fields and everything falls apart. So we'll get to that later. But the first game, you guys were kind of put in the blender a little bit. They went up a couple points on you guys. You guys had to push the pace, which, as we all know, if you watch the event, this field was not a pace-pushing field. It definitely evolved more towards that way on Sunday. But the early matches Friday and Saturday were slow crawls trying to get anything to happen out on that field. So how did you guys think that BR Factory game went?
You know, I thought they played the field way different, right? They played it very, very aggressive. Like, there were a lot of times where, my whole job was to go out to that Dorito on the left side, or sorry, not the little temple on the left side, and shoot up the middle to where I can, like, kind of maintain that cross, see their guy, that huge middle gap from their brick to our brick. That is the only spot that can watch that. And my whole job was that, and they had a guy that was very disciplined that would go to the same bunker, put me in for a second, and the guy would flash through to our side in like a second.
It's
where you
a small
blink,
gap,
you miss
honestly. Yeah, like if you're not trying to make the move up the middle and just trying to cut across to their side, it's not a big zone you have to hold there.
It's a small zone, plus you have to gunfight a guy for the zone.
Yeah, the whole time.
The entire time, right? You can't. That is not a spot where if you roll off, he is hitting you. You cannot roll off narrowly enough. And they were definitely putting it on me, right? They were definitely putting it on me for a little bit to where they were shutting me down to where I couldn't do my job, and they would come to our side, aggressive, very fast, very often. And once we kind of figured that out, we were like, okay, they were kind of just shitting on us. They go up 3 points, and we're like, boys, what the fuck are we doing? Right? None of this flat shit.
Love that voice crack.
We come together. Yeah, my bad. We come together, and we're bringing the boys together, getting a little huddle. And there's a little chant that I like to do. I'm like, all right, boys, us on me, us on three. 1, 2, 3, us. And we all say us. It's pretty sick, right? Yep, basically just like that. And that right then at that point, we're like, fuck that. We are not going out like this. And Chim is like,
first game.
Right.
You can't be saying shit like that already. Come on, boys.
Right? And Chim is like, all right, this is the personnel. This is the switch. This is how we're going to attack these guys. Relax. These guys are not as good as they've shown in those first 3 points. We can handle this. Then we start coming back. 3-1. 3-2. I think they scored another point.
No, I think we tied it up first.
Okay.
You guys did, yeah.
I think you're right.
And then they went up 4.
Yep, and then they went up 4, and then it was like, okay, now that was the crucial point, right? Where I'm pretty sure Gavin was making some fucking plays right up the middle to where, and Chim was basically like, Gavin, if you go here and do this, jump over this shit, you're going to get a kill, right? And Gavin, great player. He was receptive to it and really just read that field very, very well and was able to make multiple run-throughs.
During that point, I also want to give credit to Caden as well.
Yes.
Caden had some very good moves in that to get out wide to make sure you guys had to contain so Gavin could do his job up the middle. So I definitely wanted to give him some shout-out on that because that was the point you guys tied it up.
Caden was a dog for sure.
Not just that game, all weekend, Caden, we relied on Caden a lot. This was Caden's field. Like, Caden was having a tournament. Unfortunately, us as a team couldn't completely get behind him and help him the whole time. But yeah, Caden was fucking shit. He was wrecking shit up.
And honestly, dude, that BR match, dude, me personally, I came out flat, right? And I was kind of like not able to do my job right. And then they put Brando in the spot, right? Brando, 10 out of 10 was the reason why they came back. He played that spot so well to where it kind of gave me some confidence. I'm watching him play to where when Chim's like, all right, Hatch, go back in. And I'm like, Brando, tell me exactly step by step what you're doing. Tells me it. I receive the info. Monkey see, monkey do. And then boom, my flow's back in state.
Monkey pee all over you.
Right. It felt good. Absolutely, baby. And
it's an office quote.
It feels good that the team was able to make a big comeback like that because for some reason we love putting ourselves in these big ass motherfucking deficits.
That's not just you guys. That's DMG in general. there's been a lot of teams that worn that logo that like to go down by 3 or 4 points before they wake the fuck up.
Right, and it's a pacing thing that we have had to learn the hard way when it comes to time and time management. Right now we're at the point where it's not just one guy's job to keep manage of the clock like late in the game. Everybody's doing it. Everybody's looking at the clock. Everybody's communicating where someone's like, okay, 10 minutes on the clock, right? hey, 5 minutes on the clock, 2 minutes on the clock.
I mean, not to like spoil, but this directly is what happened in the finals match. If you know, we'll talk about that more later on. But clock management became a huge thing at the end of that game, and if you don't give yourself enough time, now you're got to get points in 20 seconds. Yep. That's not doable in this field. This field was not catering towards that.
Well,
absolutely.
If you don't give yourself enough time, or if you give the other team too much time, like it's a back and forth thing.
I agree with that, and I think BR Factory gave us too much time to figure them out. That's when, because we were like, oh, that's the way they like to do it. This guy goes here, puts you in. This guy flashes through. So now, boom, now running Schneck off the break kind of adjustment. Able to get that shot in to where the second he tries to make that move, boom, he's going into a trap. And that was just, it seemed to be their confidence by going up 3-0 was kind of maybe their downfall. Maybe they thought like, oh, these guys are fucking dog shit because, we were up 3-0. They started pumping the brakes. And then we started coming back.
And to a little bit of their credit, that is the hard thing with high-level paintball is getting to a spot where you choke out the other team, but also not just giving up on the match, because we've seen that happen time and time again, even on the pro side, where, okay, you go up 2 points, that game's not fucking over, but at the same time, you don't want to start risking, 3 wide trying to make some shit happen in 20 seconds, because, okay, now you only took 20 seconds off the clock. So it really is kind of a tricky catch-22 position where you want to fully understand, like, this is our game plan, this is what we're doing. We're still going to get the point, but we want to make them come to us. We want to make them try to make a mistake before we just start throwing our bodies away.
Absolutely. And I would say that the longer you play a team, the longer you let them figure it out. And that's one of the big things with with the Russians, right? You do not want to play a lot of points against the Russians.
No, and the Russians want to play a lot of points against you. That's their main MO.
Exactly. And God damn, it was just high-level paintball is that now. How fast can you figure out your opponent?
Yeah.
And that is why it's so much fun.
It's chess with guns.
Exactly. Yep, that's exactly why they make that reference where it's chess with guns. Because there's a lot of things where we started using our communication, right? That was the big difference. Our first 3 points, we were flat. We weren't communicating. And then once we got the communication down, dude, the dominoes started to fall, and it honestly became easy. Right? When you're shooting a guy off the break, you're working with your teammates, like, hey, 5-on-4, stay alive, do your job. We're gonna send this guy to headhunt. Dude,
paintball gets easier. Yeah,
it gets so easy, right?
I love the metaphorical shit, Hatch, but let's talk about the actual weekend itself a little bit more too, other than just strategy for the game. But so that first game, you guys do come back. It goes into overtime, so you guys are tied up 4-4 with BR Factory. What happens in that overtime? Because you guys were there to experience. I saw it, but
oh man, I think it was 5-on-5 for like 10 seconds or so, and I went out to that mini temple on the left side, and I ended up shooting my mirror, the other temple, for kill 1, and then at the same time we shot the snake player, who ended up getting a minor
Yellow Baird
for kill 3. Yeah, so it was quickly 5-on-2. We didn't know where the bodies were, or the second body, and so it took us a moment to figure out that they were just like stacked up in the center. And then once we figured that shit out, it was like,
they're in the pocket. They're fucked.
That anaconda squeeze, right?
Anaconda squeeze.
Yep. And he just slowly, Caden moved up the field, shot both of them out. Fucked it. I mean, yeah.
But also, to your guys' credit, that's how you want to close a point like that. If you're an OT, you have 5 minutes on the clock. If you get kill 3 in 30 seconds, start talking to each other, hardcore, chill the fuck out, figure out where they are, and then move the pieces up there to pinch them out, so that way it's not just, oh, it's kill 3, fucking, I'm gonna go get them. That's how teams lose low body situations, or high body situations.
That is literally how Impact lost to Dynasty in the finals.
Yeah. In the finals, or
the final with Marcelo, when Marcelo pulled off a one-on-one,
2 years ago.
Literally, they're
I thought you meant this event. I was like, they didn't play each other this event. But no, I got you.
It was World Cup 2 years ago, right?
Yeah.
Like, they all Impact started sharking, and then Marcel's like, oh, what the hell? 1, 2, you want some too? Hell yeah! All right, and that's basically what ended up happening. You know?
Yep. But yeah, so first dub on the board, starting a Friday with a win. We always love that.
Felt
so
good.
after this, I know nothing about their matches because that was the only one played on the live stream field. So you guys will have to fill me in a bit more. I was watching live on the live score tracker. That's how I watched the Wolfpack game. We'll get to that later. But Wolfpack, whoever your guys' fourth match was that Wolfpack, right?
Oh. Shut Up or Trying.
Shut Up or Trying.
Shut Up or Trying.
Yeah, that was the one. But yeah, you guys played Wolfpack later on in that day, right? That was your second game.
Yeah,
on Friday.
that was our second match.
Little bit of a revenge match. You guys had old face Ivan G over on the other side of the field. Little smurfing action going on.
It is what it is, right? He's a great player, and he's a competitor. And I think all those guys on that team are very strong gunfighters, and they're very strong on their guns. There's a reason why they beat us.
Yeah, a whole bunch of guys up from the northeast area, but yeah, the one standout to me was like, that's cool seeing Ivan go against his his old team. Absolutely
right, and I obviously want to beat Ivan, and he obviously wants to beat me, and he got the longer end of the stick there, and I'm excited to play him again. But that was one of those games where they were really strong on their guns, and they got a little bit of a lead on us, and that was one where we just couldn't claw back enough.
Yeah, that sucked. I think penalties were an issue all weekend. I'd say not the reason why we lost. It just certainly doesn't help, right? Going down bodies early. But no, they
have you guys had a tournament since you started semi-pro where you guys haven't had penalty issues?
Yeah, I wouldn't say tournament.
Nah.
There'd be matches, right?
There's matches
there would be boys.
No, you're absolutely right. And let me tell, and we'll get into it. We'll get into it a little bit in the next game, right? Like I think Brando got a minor, and I mean, fair.
Brando doesn't get penalties, so yeah, I believe that one.
Dude, yeah, and that was first point of the first game. It was such a tight. I kept coming in. It hit me in my forearm. It's plain as day. It's on film, right? It hits me, and I was like, it hit me so softly. I was like, that was a bounce. Like I could have checked. I was like, that hit me so soft. That wasn't a bounce. And got put in and whatever. I turned and I came back, and it's still on my forearm. Didn't try to wipe it or anything. It's just like, all right, cool. And the ref came in. I was like, yeah, no, I'm good. You could see like my head. He goes like this. He goes, yeah. I go, yeah, I'm good. He goes, no. He throws a minor. I was like, well, shit, it was there.
Yep. And then I get pulled on that. I walk into the pits. Everybody's like, God damn it, Hatch. I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah. He goes,
what the actual shot? Right? Because literally, dude, like I'm like, huh, me? And bro, I'm pretty sure there's a clip
Brandon,
that I saw.
Please tell me you spoke up for Hatch. You're like,
no, I did. I was like,
that was
me.
Fuck.
My bad.
Yeah. So, and then I think Paul got another minor. I don't think we got any majors.
No majors at all.
No
That's
majors.
good.
Just little ones. Definitely growth, especially when we got me and AJ on the team. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Right.
Like it's nothing like we're trying to cheat. It's just look, we're getting caught with hits that we thought either bounces or shit that we can't check or whatnot. Like, all right, whatever. It's not like most of them weren't undeserved, I'd say.
Dude, let me tell you, these refs were on it. Like
they're fast.
Some a little bit too on it, to where it's like maybe I feel like they were jumping the gun when I was watching some other like matches, right? Because like if a guy gets hit and he looks at the ref, what's the point of throwing? And he doesn't. And he just like puts his gun up and looks at the ref. What's the point of throwing a penalty?
Yeah, I hate those penalties.
I don't understand that.
Like,
right, and that's where, if I'm being honest, that's where a lot of them kind of were.
Yeah, I think those are kind of bullshit. Because like, if your first action you think you got hit is to look and confirm with the ref, I feel like you were doing everything you should as a player there. Because maybe you can't see it, maybe you don't know, and if he tells you to get out and you start coming out, there's no penalty there, in my opinion.
Yeah, and it's like you didn't even affect the game. It wasn't even playing on. Period. Right, and I'm not going to excuse that, but I mean those guys, the Wolfpack straight up beat us.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah,
they
for that game. Speaking of those penalty stuff too, though, we see that happen on the fucking pro field constantly. Guys are able to, I got shot as I was running to that bunker. Let me get to the bunker. Ref, we good? And then they'll come in and be like, oh yeah, come on out. Like, you're pulled. Like, pro field aren't fucking calling instant minors on players who just turn to look at you and see if you saw it or not. Like, I don't know. That's where I always agree that divisional reffing is kind of shitty. It is what it is. You got dudes out there who are, they're out there to make a couple $100 every day. It's not necessarily, their whole
Valid.
life and
sadly,
thing that they put effort into.
And I'm not trying to hate, but sadly, it does get rougher and rougher the lower the division.
Yeah.
100%.
Right, and
the further away from the premier field you get,
literally, right, and it shows in even in semi-pro where it's like you got to go to that separate field, right, to not the premier field, but like the other semi-pro field.
Yeah, I think it was like the Hormesis field.
Hormesis, yeah, Hormesis field, right, and let me just say, first of all, I just want to give a huge shout out to Tom Cole, dude. That grass, whoo, that was nice. 10 out of 10 grass.
We're not going back there again.
Dude, I don't know. They might let us back.
Hopefully. If you looked at the drone shot on the finals on Sunday on the pro field, bro, that shit was fucked up.
I thought that wasn't even that bad. I thought that wasn't even that bad. Because the thing is, it was still grass. It's just been walked on a ton. It will literally bounce back in like a month.
Potentially, depending on the type of grass it is, but the problem is like if they have a soccer tournament in 3 weeks, it's not going to be ready for that.
So we talked to the cops.
It wasn't on soccer fields.
Yep. We talked to some of the locals and some of the cops there, and they're like, "Dude, this is awesome that you guys are using this land. This land is never used, ever."
Okay. Well,
right?
that's info to me.
Across the street were the soccer fields.
Yeah.
Oh, that's like their recreation center they have in the city or something like that.
So this was just open land that just isn't being used at all, really. Right?
That's cool.
And so, dude, I definitely think we should go back there. That was a great venue.
Yeah.
Great venue. The only problem is it was, just talking about the weekend in general, the heat was an issue. Like, not
valid.
Like, look, I get it. We're all tough guys, but when you have 100-degree feeling temperatures with, 70 to 80% humidity, there's definitely people who got fucked up at that event, who had heat stroke, who had, things fucking happen to them.
After the last match on Saturday, bro, I was on like the verge where I was.
It was rough.
When I pulled my clava off, bro, it looked like I just got out of the shower. My hair is soaking.
Yeah, and so that would be my only kind of caution going back there, because you don't want guys to be fucking like. Terry Fong tells the story back in the day. One of, I forget which team it was on, but, he was managing some team, and they had a guy who, was playing his heart off all day in 10-man, gets in the shower at night, and he collapsed and died in that shower because his body got shocked from the temperature difference of being in the cold water. Was he probably doing the most for his health and nutrition? No, probably not. It was back in the era. It was a different time, but... like, that is a thing that can happen, when you have people playing in such crazy events. At the same time, I'm not blaming Tom Cole for that. I want to make that very obvious. Tom does a lot of things. He doesn't control the fucking weather, all right? We could never give him shit for that. But it's, that would, I guess, be my only, kind of cautionary thing I bring up. But it is good to hear it was great playing grounds. It was, probably a nice and level event. Unlike some of those Vegas fields or some of the other fields we've had.
And the thing is, the cops we were talking to, they were saying, they're like, dude, we have not had a day like this in years. And it's crazy that you guys come and there's a week straight of it.
And that's kind of fair, too, because I did see, like, the whole Midwest was having this huge heat wave, and you guys were just in one of the shittiest places for it.
Yeah, and, dude, it was hot as shit, let me just say, right? To where, your ice is melting quick.
Dude, it was so hot, our AC unit in our Airbnb
stopped
working.
Oh my god, that was rough.
No.
Yeah,
that was rough.
We go back, we're like, let's get to the house and some nice cool AC. It's like, dude, it's 85 degrees in here. What the fuck?
As someone who in this apartment is dealing with AC issues right now, waiting for maintenance to fix it, I feel you guys. It's a needed thing when there's humidity outside.
That bitch
it was rough. Yeah, but
yeah. So you guys finished day one, or sorry,
really? Brandon? Yeah. It was day one. Let me shine light on our schedule really quick. Because it was kind of
fucked up schedule. This is
fucking weird, bro.
Yeah. So on both days, Friday and Saturday, our game times were 8:55 a.m. and then 1:50 p.m. The game. It was the second game of the day. And then the game after lunch.
The last game of the semi-pro schedule for that day, by the way.
Yes. Yeah, we had the second game of semi-pro schedule and the very last game. And both last games, so both our second and fourth game at 1:50, both on Friday and Saturday, X-Ball.
True X-Ball.
Yes, I did see that too, which is fucking
what the
insane.
fuck is that bullshit?
Yeah.
And the thing is, right? I get it. Maybe one team should get an X-ball match, right?
Yes. If there's a weird amount of teams, someone's
Bro,
got to play.
we got
I see
2
that.
of them.
But that's a great point right there. Yep.
What the fuck? And let me tell you, dude, that heat was different because I mean, dude, there were points where you and I were like some of those matches where you and I were playing like every fucking point. Like it was getting fucking tiring.
Yeah, I think I sat. Yeah, 4 points all weekend.
Brando's sleeper build was put to the test.
Yeah.
Dude, it was awesome.
Yeah,
right?
and
was
so
good,
that was the other thing I saw too, which I thought was going to be, kind of shitty for you guys. No offense. It's just like, because you guys have a smaller roster. Like, you don't have 10 guys on the team who are just ready to go all the time. I think you guys, only brought 9 to the event? 8 or 9 to the event?
Yeah.
We brought 9 to the event, but obviously there are... there's the starting 5,
Yep.
then there's the 6th, right?
Mm-hmm.
And those are obviously the guys who get a majority of the playing time, whether whoever the fuck likes it or not.
Yeah.
Right?
And that's
if you're on the team and you don't like it, get good.
Exactly. And that's honestly, I think, one of the reasons why I was, a team... A good example is just a team like Impact that can comfortably run 2 lines, and they're confident in all 10 of those players to go out there and be just fine. That definitely is an advantage for a team like that. I mean, hell, you guys were playing Wolfpack in the X-Ball. I feel like they had like 12 guys on that roster or something. Like, seeing some of Enrique's videos, I was like, that is a packed full of pits. Jesus Christ.
I will say, during that game, I think they went up. It was like after the 3rd or 4th point, they ended up calling a timeout, and we rushed our guys out in the field. And like, we're good, we're cool, we're chilling, we're ready to go. And we're like, damn, are they tired? They got 3 more people than us. What the fuck?
Right? And dude, so there's a funny story. This is Paul's story.
Yeah.
The guy, Paul, the timeout's called, but we go to the far side, like in front of their pits. Paul, no joke, walks over to the pits and just like walks over to their net and just staring at them, just like listening to their plays. Right?
Sociopath, bro.
And then all of a sudden, one of the guys that in like a team huddle, like, you're going here, you're going here, you're going here. Then one of them looks over, looks at him, and goes, "Hey, what the fuck?" And then their entire team is like, "Fuck you, you piece of shit." And Paul's like, "I just want to know what you guys were doing."
I'm standing in bounds where I can. You guys are being too loud. That's your fault.
Yep. Right? And it was just one of those funny things where, dude, their coach is like, "Ref, what the fuck is wrong? Dude, this guy's fucking all..." It's just going crazy.
There is no rule against a player standing on the NXL field. Now, if Paul went into their pits, very different conversation, but he did not do that.
Right? And he is a beast. And it was just one of those things where he likes to set the tone, and Paul is just one of those guys where he sets the tone of the match, right? And at no point are we fucking scared of anybody. And he basically let him know, where he was like, basically that thing where he's the dog on the side of the fence and all the other dogs are just fucking barking at him. He's just sitting there like, arms crossed, having a good time, and the dogs are barking.
I feel it. How did Paul enjoy pulling up and taking a knee at the home for every single point?
Paul, dude, let me tell you, he's that guy on our team where a lot of the times the hardest bunker on the field to play, we sent him there because he's so disciplined and so all around a well-rounded player. Mm-hmm. Right? And that was his shot. That
wasn't the question I was asking. I appreciate that, Hatch. But I more so was making a comment on how the meta of this layout was, all right, on the 3, pull up, I'm going to be sitting here for the next 6 minutes. Dumping pod. It was fucking miserable to be a 3.
Let me take this as playing like the 3, sharing that bunker with Paul too and everything. You
guys doubled up back there?
Dude, it was fucking boring. Like whenever I went and played the 3 and I was shooting left, I just, okay, this is my one gap I'm looking. Yeah, I got 11 pods. Make something happen, guys. I'm holding them off.
I'm putting half a case on my back. I'll be here.
Yeah, that shit was boring. I mean, it had to be done until later on in the point, but fuck, dude, it was boring.
But you guys were doubling up the back a couple times. Brando, who's Big Spoon?
He's Big Spoon. We've learned that because I shot him in the pack and I broke 3 pods on his back.
Oh no! So, okay, yeah.
Yeah, so, you can't put someone taller than me.
So you lost Little Spoon privileges. You have to be.
I did.
Or you lost Big Spoon privileges.
I lost Big Spoon.
Yeah.
Yes.
So you always got to tuck in there, and then you're just like, "Hi, buddy." You're right here with me. How are you doing, Paul? I do. It sucks when teams have to double up a bunker, but I do love sometimes some of the just videos of like seeing two homies just like, hey, what's up, man? Yeah, paint's coming in. I'm getting in more now. Hey, sorry, bro.
Dude, that's one of my favorite things. Especially because you could talk so just chill. Like, hey, he's shit. He made the bomb. Here, get in tighter. Hey, get up against me. Yeah, we're good. Okay.
I need to grab a pod. Fucking move.
Yeah.
The fun part is when Chim he'd say this one call where it's like an audible for me, and then I'm like, let me shuffle my feet, and then now we triple it. You know what I'm saying? Triple turret. And
so Hatch, would you do kind of? We saw this on the pro field a little bit, but kind of delaying in that dead zone, shooting back up the middle, and then filling out.
Definitely, for sure. So it's basically an audible where he would have me shoot one or a second place, right? And depending on whatever he said is what shot I would shoot. So it would either be the ghost up the center or like we would try to double up a certain spot, right? And
just pick on someone.
And let me tell you, breakouts like that. If I'm being honest, those were a little harder because now I am this third person in a spot where there shouldn't even be two people sometimes, And now I have to really fight my way out.
And dude, whenever you make a player play the dead zone, it is a very difficult job for the reason of, all right, you're there, no one's shooting at you for the first 20 seconds, but now you got to fill the fuck out because you are not supposed to be there for, longer than that kind of start of the game. Yes. So now you got to read paint and be able to make a clean move out.
Especially when they would have to try to counter the ghosters, right? They would shoot their own dead zone for that spot, right? And there were multiple times where I would see their guy in the dead zone, he would see me, and we're like, oh, peace out. We just jump in.
Yeah,
exactly. Because it's like you don't want to ride that line because if he hits you and you don't hit him, dude, that is not even worth the risk. I'd rather play 5-on-5 for 5 minutes, see you in hopper ball, buddy. Much rather play like that.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what a lot of the games kind of came down to because after the BR factory game, it just felt like the game's really slowed down.
Yep. BR definitely was playing it like one of the more aggressive semi-pro teams I was seeing.
For sure.
And look, we kind of saw it on the pro side too. Russian Legion figured out how to play the game a little faster, and I think that definitely helped them out at times. Bro. And then they were also able to negate Tauntaun's attack because they were like, oh, we've played in that position. We know what they're going to try to do right now. This is how we can key up on it. Again, we'll get to that match in a little bit. Let's take us through Saturday because you guys didn't play Sunday, unfortunately. So 1-1 coming out of Friday. It was very close. It could have been a Sunday match, but you guys had that second set of the day. Who'd you guys play against in that one? I don't remember that one. I know. Or was that Demolition?
So on Saturday, the first match was Demolition. Mm-hmm. Second match, Shut Up, We're Trying.
Yep.
Right.
And here,
go ahead.
The Texas Demolition game, we wanted it. This was a rematch from Tampa that we played. We played them on Sunday. We beat them in overtime. Or no, right, like the last 30 seconds, right? We stole the game from them.
Mm-hmm.
So they wanted it. We wanted it. We're also playing against Hatch's old coach, right?
Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely. Dude, let me just say, that's in a very emotional game for me because obviously I don't want to lose to a guy that taught me as much as I did, right? Like, Anarchy doesn't want to lose to Obi-Wan.
Was it Teach?
It was Corey Field.
Oh,
right?
Corey
He was
Field.
the guy.
Okay.
He was a guy that Teach would bring in, that brought into the camp back when I was a kid. And Corey Field is without a doubt, one of the guys who molded me into the player that I am today. And I don't want to lose to that.
No.
At all.
Yeah.
Right?
There's some pride there.
He is basically telling them, hey, I taught him this. This is how he's probably going to play it. Right? And to capitalize on me as a player because he just knows me, right? And that's when I did not come out flat that Demolition game. I was fucking killing it that game, and there are multiple times where I sneak into the Doritos and I'm just listening, dude. This is where like paintball IQ becomes a different level because you're just listening for their guns. Like I was able to tell how close he was to me by the sound of his gun and the sound of his voice, to where I was able to just be like, all right, boom, step out down the wire for a quick second, smoke the guy, right, and then jump back in. Then I'm like, hey, kill that guy. Then boom, now Anaconda squeeze, just like we've been taught the entire time, and we cut the field.
Yeah,
right? And that was honestly how a lot of games.
I want to pause you there for a second, because one of the things you just talked about, if you're a regional player playing this layout coming up, being out in that Dorito corner, you don't have necessarily the best shots for like kind of the middle of the field and that shit. But if you know they're starting to press that attack down the Doritos, you can catch a guy sleeping pretty quick. You just gotta play that dead zone out to the corner a little bit, and you'll have the angle on him.
Dude, I loved that Dorito corner.
Me too, dude.
It was fucking amazing.
It was a fortress a little bit.
There are multiple times where I would sneak out there, they couldn't see me, and I would be literally standing up over the top, and I'm like, there's that paint there. That means this guy's there. Sweet. Nobody in the middle looking my way. Boom, launch into the Doritos without anybody seeing me. Right? And that was a huge tool that was shown on the pro field when they would sneak out to those Doritos. The game would usually win when the sneakiest guy would get into that position and kill the middle guy.
Yeah, because the kind of standard plays we were seeing was aggression up the center, followed by someone getting into like the snake 2, snake 3, and then be able to kind of shut down the rest of the field, cross field. But then the problem became you have to now make that gap into the wedge, which home is just rocking on all fucking day long. So really, the kind of, to win the game, you had to get some pressure started to go on that D side, so that way you could shut down their snake attack.
Yes, right. And let me tell you, fucking penalties, bro. Paul gets a minor, or no, sorry, AJ gets a minor, gets Brando pulled.
Oh.
This is where
can we talk about that one?
This is where the shit went down, bro.
So we come on, or we pull up. AJ gets shot off the break. Went to that little temple on the left, looking up the center. I
go out to the corner. Yeah, because I see AJ get the penalty, and I see you get pulled on it.
Are you sure? Because I remember looking and seeing because the conversation that Paul and I had on field, I could see everyone. It was 45. Unless he got a couple minors.
Definitely.
He got a couple minors, but I think the one that we're talking about, it was me, Paul, Gavin, Caden, and AJ, because AJ dies and I'm looking at everyone else. So I'm inside, I'm shooting, and then it's 45, cool, whatever. They're here, they're there. And then Paul goes, "Oh, they got a minor." I was like, "All right, awesome, fuck yeah." 43, kill this. Yeah, I was like, "Hey, 43." He goes, "Oh wait, we got a minor." I was like, "What?" And I could see Paul, I could see Gavin, and I could see Caden. I was like, "You're all alive. Who the fuck?" And then he goes, "Brando, they're coming after you." And I look over, and the ref's like,
I have the perfect perspective for the other
That's
factor.
pretty funny.
I'm in the pits. I'm not playing this point that Brando's talking about.
I gotta stop because I'm a little confused, and I guess our audience probably is too.
Sorry.
Brandon's talking about a point. Hatch, are you talking about a point before or after the point he's talking about?
I was talking about a point before.
So you got it was two different points that you guys were talking about, but you thought it was the same one at first. Okay, cool.
Right.
So that was Brando's one. He saw AJ get the penalty, and then had the running ref come for him.
But why the penalty was, right? You saw that, Hatch, right?
Yeah, so I'm in the pits. So we're watching the game. They're on the far side. We're watching the game. I'm like, okay. And then AJ gets shot, and then all of a sudden, like I see him running down the sidelines. Then the ref in front of us throws a minor. The in front of our pits, ref throws a minor. Runs all the way out of his zone, down the sidelines, pulls Brando at the home.
What?
Or sorry, the little Aztec on the left.
That's not his penalty to call.
Exactly. And you know what he said? He never said this, but he kind of went over to the head ref and he goes that he said that AJ was looking in the middle.
Or no, he told AJ that. Yeah, because AJ confronted him. Yeah, he told AJ that he looked at the snake player and it looked like he was talking and signaling where their player was. He was like, I looked at the player as I walked past him. That was it.
Yeah. That's one of the stupidest penalties I've ever heard. If AJ didn't say a word, because if AJ did speak, then the ref has, the talking penalty.
Because I'm right in front of it.
Please let me finish this, Hatch. For a ref to do that is essentially just trying to win the game for his homies, it seems like. Because let's be real, I've seen 1,000 paintball players walk off the sidelines and look at the dude who's in the snake, or let's be real. I've seen 1,000 pro players walk towards the sideline, see a dude's in the snake. All of a sudden, their gun goes in the air out of nowhere. That's a weird one, but I've never once seen that penalty called because you can't technically prove it. You can't prove that that player did that or that reaction or something like that. And now you're getting into ref discretion type penalties, which I think are complete bullshit because it needs to be actually breaking a rule that we have listed down for everyone.
Yep.
That pisses me the hell off. Jesus Christ, NXL reffing.
You ready for it? You ready for this? That ref runs all the way over. Now there's no ref there. There's no ref watching.
Yeah,
the guy in the wedge.
Too.
The guy. Why the fuck am I so blurry?
I don't know, but that's literally that's the textbook of what not to do when you're reffing is give up your zone.
So the guy in the slanted wedge, then gets boom shot on the corner of the mask.
That bitch is gone.
Looks around, and is like, "Well, shit, I'm gonna keep playing because there's no one calling me out." And then they win that point. It's like, what the fuck was that?
Yeah. And this is, the beauty of being able to play on a field like the pro field or like the lone wolf field where there's cameras looking at you, because those things get caught a lot more because there's way more eyes looking at it than in the kind of the back lots of the NXL where bullshit happens.
And me, one of the guys from BR Factory, Povo, dude, me and him were like, what the fuck?
I always love that when the team that's coming in for the next game is like, I'm a third party here. They're 100% right. Like, I always love because paintball players do that all the time.
He was just like, he had like a Midwest accent, right? So he's kind of talking from his accent. He's like, dude, what the hell? And I'm like,
what the hell?
Are you fucking seeing with that, right? And we're just honestly kind of blown away at that, right? And then so let me go to the point that I was talking about, right? So I go out to the corner, the left corner where it's that little juice box, and AJ gets another minor, gets Brando pulled. Right now I'm like, oh shit.
Why is it always Brando? Pull someone else.
Dude.
Goddamn.
I get pulled on Brando's penalty, so at least it's not him getting him, honestly, right? And so I'm ducking at the middle, doing my job. I'm like, oh shit, AJ got a minor. Hey, 35, right? And then this is the reason why I like that corner so much. I was able to sneak in the Doritos without anybody seeing me. I killed one of them. I killed their middle guy, and then I ran down and had their Dorito guy spin on me, drawing a major, right? And then boom. Now at that point, it's like it's two on two, right? Or I guess 2-on-1 because I killed that guy and they got a major, right? So it's 2-on-1. Boys handle that, right? And that Brando point happens, and then just back and forth game. People are getting some minors, and then here we go, overtime.
Yeah, overtime again.
Right, and let me tell you, this is where I felt like I fucking balled the fuck out. I go out to the corner, and
question: were you able to make it there, like off break into the corner? Because
Yep.
I wasn't seeing that much on the pro side.
Honestly, yeah, the grass was so good to where I was able to pre-dive and slide my ass.
Just have that nice, yeah.
I also think it helped if they were scouting us. We didn't go there too often.
No, and there were, dude, I would run and shoot back.
Yeah,
right.
That's
like they would
kind of impressive.
They would see me line up. They would see me line up, and they would just be like, "Oh, he's going short to the Aztec," and then I would blast out, running and shooting to the corner, right? And then I basically get to the corner. Check my inside shot real quick. Check over the top. Made sure nobody saw me. I get into the Dorito. I kill their middle guy. Kill their Aztec guy. I kill another guy, and then I run their last guy down. Right. 4-pack felt good. I was feeling spicy. Right. And obviously I'm feeling spicy. Kind of like I'm doing my thing. You know what I'm saying? Right. Talk your shit. And then all of a sudden this fucking guy that I just bunkered is like, "Fuck you, you fucking bitch." And I'm like, what the fuck? I'm like, ref, that guy's talking and he's walking, right? Like, yo, why are you not throwing a penalty? Like, they're throwing penalties on us for just looking at guys. Why are we not treating them the same, right? And
Let me
the guy
guess,
is
it was the
talking,
same zone?
No, it was not
No.
the same zone. This is a different ref. This is on the other side, right? And he's just not saying the guy is calling me a fucking bitch right to my face, and I'm pulling the Karen card. I'm like, yo, he's talking, right? And now Paul's coming up behind me, and he's like, ref, like, why are you not calling anything, right? And now all of a sudden, now I'm going over to their pits, kind of like talking shit. I'm like, why am I a fucking bitch? Tell me why I'm a fucking bitch, and you're walking off, right? And then this is where the whole fucking team is like fucking pulling me back, and I'm like, tell me why I'm a fucking bitch, right?
And Paul goes, catch, I'll handle this. Why is he a fucking bitch?
Yep. And then
I will say, you kind of Marshall Mathers yourself there a little bit. You're like, fucking, yeah, shit on me. What the fuck? You know, give me some explanation here.
Right. And so then when we
you
go
guys never
shake
watched
hands,
8 Mile and it shows.
I love 8 Mile, dude. The guy shoots his dick off.
That's way earlier in the movie than what I was referencing. But yeah, shit. So Paul has your back. You guys don't get into any physical altercations,
right.
And that's
and then
good.
So when we shake hands, honestly, when it's off the field, there's nothing but love with those guys, right? But the guy that was calling me a fucking bitch would not look me in the eyes. His head was down, looking down, just said, good game. That was it, right? But then I go and I shake hands with Corey, and he's like, Hatch, I thought you were better than that. And I'm like, what the fuck? Your guy's calling me a fucking bitch. What am I doing? You know? And I was just like, if I'm being honest, it just kind of fucking hurt a little bit.
Hatch, you're learning one of the most important lessons in sports right now. It's not the dude who makes the first contact who gets the penalty thrown. It's the dude who retaliates who gets the penalty thrown. How many times in the NBA have you seen someone sneak a fucking elbow into someone, and then, you know, some player gets agitated about that, so he throws an elbow too? Well, the technical goes on the second guy, because that's the one the ref sees. And it's shit. Don't get me wrong. When you look at the video replay, you're like, oh, okay, I see what's happening here. No, but the point I'm making right now is, yes, he fucked up. He talked when he shouldn't have. But then you escalate it, and now everyone's like, see, he's the bad guy. And it's like, no, in truth and in reality, Hatch did nothing wrong here. But the optics of this situation is not exactly what we wanted. You need to go talk to my boy DJ T about optics, man.
No, you're definitely right. You're definitely right about that. Completely 100%. And I was just like, I'm just looking for an explanation, I guess. Tell me why I'm a fucking bitch.
One thing in paintball, you'll never get an explanation. That's not ever going to happen.
Fuck no. Guy was barking on a leash, you know, and
Patty wasn't there.
No, it was not. But yeah, so that's how the demolition match went.
Yeah,
and then
we won 5 bodies. I will say for both the demolition game and the BR game, in overtime we won with all 5 bodies alive. It was like, if we can do that in overtime with all that pressure, God damn it, dude, we could do that. Fuck.
I feel that, Brad.
If we can beat the team that slaughtered some of their other matches, right, and won the whole tournament, dude, we have potential to do just that.
If DMG was on like the, you know, MLPB 2025 video game, you guys would have a huge clutch factor, and all the rest of your stats during normal time would not be as high.
No, you're absolutely right, and it's just fucking frustrating. Right, and now we're going into this shut up, we're trying match. We're 2-1. We're like, all right, we have to win this match no matter what, right? And dude, let me just say, shout out to the shut up, we're trying guys. They're all cool guys.
Yeah, I met a couple of them down here in Texas when I went to like XBL and stuff. I think there was a guy I played with NECTR who I know plays with that organization. I don't know if he plays on their semi-pro line, but yeah, no, I mean, decent group of dudes, but yeah, what happened in this match?
So that was nothing but a constant back and forth game. It's funny, those guys are so nice, right? It was a time where I literally bunkered the guy in the fucking face, right? And then we're walking off, and the air station breaks in our pits.
Oh my god!
Right, bro. This is where it's some more bullshit, right? It's
X-ball.
It's true X-ball, right? And now we're running back. The fucking air station fucking blows up, right? And we're hearing shh the whole time. The guy's running with me back to the pits, and he's like, "Dude, are you okay, bro? Is your gun? Is that your gun hissing?" And I'm like, "No, our air station's been broken." Right?
Quick question. So pretty shitty reffing, broken air station, playing true X-ball. What is semi-pro's entrance fee to an event?
$3,200?
$3,200. You guys paid $3,200 for the NXL to absolutely fail in every single way and shape and form. Love to hear that.
At least for us,
Love
right?
to hear
the thing is, there were 3 points. I think it was like 3.5 points where we had no air in our pits, where we have to go to the other fucking field to grab air in X-ball. in X Ball.
Yeah, I think it was the first 3 points.
If you're not playing at a semi-pro level, just don't go to NXLs. Go play WC, go play USXBL, go play something else, because, man, I feel for the divisional players at NXL. I get why you guys get fucking pissed off and upset at times, because, again, some of it's not the NXL's fault. When you have that volume of games that need to go through, shit is going to happen. I understand that. But I'm going to tell you right now, if at Mike's event, you guys had a broken air station, there would have been a fix in place. You guys would not have continued playing the match on true X-Ball with no air in your fucking pits. That is retarded. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Dude, and they didn't even give us a technical timeout.
Yeah.
And the guy fucking yells at the head ref,
you know
yells
why?
at fucking
you know why?
Bojangles.
Because everyone on that field just wanted to fucking get off and go home. They didn't give a fucking shit about your guys' match at all, which is your playoff consideration match. So that literally makes me upset. That is not a way that you run events, especially in paintball. And you're gonna say, well, Ryan, it's NXL, they can't do it. I hate to say this, Mike does it with his events. He runs those great. There's a reason why people go back to WC year after year after year, because it's a well-run event. And like, God, Tom, you gotta fix some of this shit, man. I always try to give Tom credit where it's due. But man, this is a failure, is what I'm hearing right now. And we didn't know this because it wasn't even on the live stream.
That's not even Tom's fucking problem. It was just the fact that it was just handled so badly at that moment on the field.
Yeah,
actually, no. It is Tom's problem. You know why? Because he is the owner. He's the CEO or the chief operating officer of that league. Everything that happens there falls under his belt, whether he likes it or not. That is just what comes with that job. So he has to take some responsibility for his divisional players, who, like I just mentioned, are the ones paying for that event to go on by paying, $3,000, $2,000 just to come and appear at the event.
Yeah, here, I'll say this: the typically the second semi-pro field that we get thrown on, especially when the WNXL is there, that head ref, I really like that head ref. Me
too. He's a nice
honestly
guy.
like as a team, we like that head ref. We feel like he's just a straight up dude, right? No bullshit kind of thing. He's doing the best he can with the refs, the staff that he gets.
100%.
And during those 3 points that the air station was down, I think it was Fatty that came and fixed it. He came, try to fix it during the first point, had to go back and get something, and then came back to fix it. It wasn't like they weren't doing anything about it. Like, they were trying to get something done about it. It's just, it certainly could have been handled a little better, right? Could have taken 10 minutes to push the game back 10 minutes, get that situated before we started playing, because it was like 2 minutes before we started playing, it started leaking.
And to the other point of this too is, it's even exacerbated by the fact you guys were playing true X-Ball. Because, if you have 45 seconds plus another 4-minute point in between, that isn't as big of a problem. But from a scheduling standpoint, why? Fuck! This is
it was just very interesting and kind of suspicious. It felt like, and
question: Did you guys pit for Impact this event?
No.
Okay. Because that would be the only thing I would think is maybe there's something going on behind the scenes to make sure you guys don't coincide with their games. But if that's not happening, then I can't even think of that anymore. So now it's just like, what the fuck's going on at the league?
Right. And let me just say, we would have been absolutely fucked without Drew. Shout out to fucking Drew, bro. How's his last name? Is it Irvin?
Irvin.
Drew Irvin, right? Dude, he came and he pitted for all of our matches.
Friend of the show,
right? And dude, he was running our guns, two-handed guns, running to the other field to get air for us that match. And the guy had to play later that day, and he's running pods. Like, he is a straight up fucking unit, and we would have been absolutely done without him at some point.
That's a G.
Yep.
Right. And so let me tell you, once we the shut up we're trying match, still we're on that. We're down 1. Shit's going down because obviously, if I'm being honest, dude, Brando, you and I are playing every fucking point of this match.
Yeah. It wasn't until I hurt myself that I had to
literally.
sit. Yeah.
right? And motherfucker, bro, take care of that. Literally, I go out to that left temple. Dude, this is the craziest penalty of my life. I go out. The guy hits a good shot on me. Hits me on my loader. I feel it. I look at it. I call myself out. The ref still gives me a minor.
That was so fast, yeah.
Dude, still gave me a minor. And I called myself out. And I'm like, holy shit, now I basically just lost the point for our team. Because, dude, getting a penalty in semi-pro, you're done. Right? Against any good team. And Shut Up We're Trying is not a bad team. Mm-mm. Right? They beat us.
No,
it was just so quick.
It's just that is just bullshit. It just is. That is a ref taking the game into his hands. That look, if you looked at it and went like this, okay, that's a penalty. But it's the front of the loader. If you've ever played paintball, you know that's a hard spot to check.
It was literally right off the top.
Yep. I've seen many players get hit there and not even know they get hit there. So the fact that you're even going, looking, and then calling yourself out, that is not a penalty. No action Hatch did there is against the letter of the rule book. The rule book literally says it's on the player to know they're hit. He was doing his job by making sure, oh, I'm hit. I am a dead player. Now I'm getting off the field. Jesus fucking Christ, man.
Brando gets pulled. Brando is the guy that gets pulled from that. And I look at it and I go, bro, that was so fucking fast.
And I tell him, I was like, I know. I came up and I hear hit. Because I think like maybe someone jumped early. I hear hit and I shoot and I look back and I see Hatch call himself out, not even at the bunker.
The ref behind me is saying hit. The ref behind me is saying hit. The ref in front of me to my left is the one who throws it.
Yeah, I was like, whoa. God damn,
that was
like, quick.
I was like, God damn, boy. And then at that point we were down 2 with like
a minute and a half.
Not even that. Maybe like a minute 6. I honestly feel like it was like a minute 6.
Mm-hmm.
And that's obviously a tall order to 2 points in a minute 6. Possible completely, but those guys were playing the field really well where they were able to lock it up right there.
Yeah.
Right, for that match. And I would try to make a run through, get fucked up, but it is what it is, and Shut Up We're Trying wins, right? And they got the better end of us at that match. So
they did. Yep.
Good for them. They deserve that win.
This is out of the NXL official rulebook, section 10.2, players and hits, 10.2.1. Players are responsible for becoming aware of their hits. 10.2.2. If being hit, a player must immediately cease play and single his elimination. Failing to do so constitutes playing on. What? If 10.2.3, if a player gets shot and he cannot check for a hit by himself at certain locations, i.e. visor, throat, back, harness, he has to immediately cease play and call a referee for a paint check. Failing to do so constitutes playing on. Explain to me how Hatch broke either one of those sentences. Here's the spoiler alert, he didn't. Fuck.
It's hard because obviously now I'm trying to look at this from like a third person perspective where I'm like, is it just Hatch being Hatch saying some shit? But bro, dude, I was like, I genuinely, that was my one penalty all weekend, and it was like that, and I was like, holy shit, bro, what the hell? And so that was how we finished our weekend. That was how we finished the tournament. We ended up going 2-2, not making it to Sunday.
It felt. I told Paul after this at the airport. Once we landed in SAC, I was like, "Dude, it doesn't feel like we went 2. It feels like we went 1-3." I legitimately thought we went 1-3 after the game. After we said good game, Nico and his forgetting his
Jimbo from NYX.
Jimbo, yeah, because they came and helped us pit.
We needed it, bro.
They went walking by. They're like, hey, hopefully you guys get in tomorrow. I was like, nah, that's it. We're 1-3. And he goes, you guys are 2-2. You won your. I was like, oh shit, that is right. We are 2-2. It didn't feel like 2-2. It felt like we played really bad to go 2-2. So it was a weird tournament. Weird feeling. It just, again, weird penalties, whatever. It's not the reason we lost. We lost because we weren't playing it well.
I had a different feeling, honestly, Brando. I felt like we were playing. I felt like the points where we were connecting, we were connecting more often than we weren't. It felt like, and I thought we were playing decent, right? I thought there were a lot of times where you and I were talking to each other, and you're like, Hatch, get on that zone. And I'm like, boom, got it. And then you switch, cover the other zone. Right? And we just communicated like that. We closed the games out like that.
But it has to be like consistent, right? And all 5 players on the field to being connected, not just you and me.
I
not
feel
just
like you guys were playing a 5v 16 this event. You know, there's like 11 refs on the field and then 5 other players on the other team. Because
I don't even want to blame the refs. Like I don't even want to blame the refs.
Weird refs,
look, you guys,
weird penalties.
I'm glad whatever. You guys aren't, because you're competitive players. You don't want to bring it down to that. As a person who wasn't there, now hearing the story of what happened as I was watching the the PBLI like scoreboard go up. That is it's just fucking bullshit. All right. It just fucking is. All of those penalties that you guys described are not penalties based off the letter of the rules that I just read. So like, fuck, man. It pisses me off, because just like, look, this is a thing in paintball. We've talked about it forever. Reffing does suck. All right. It just does. Doing the job itself is a miserable job, but it genuinely feels like your guys' weekend was decided by people who weren't playing the game. That's kind of fucked up.
And look, like, if we're getting these weird, odd penalties, other teams must be getting them too. So I'm at least hoping that, right, that it's an even playing field, that we're all getting these kind of fuckery penalties every now and then.
Potentially, but it didn't sound like it was happening during your guys' matches, and I guarantee you those players probably did the same thing, probably got shot, looked at the ref and was like, oh, I'm out, except they called you guys a minor on that and they didn't call it on them, and it's like, that's
maybe
that's
I will say it certainly didn't feel like only us during games were getting minors. I mean, you could watch that BR game too, they got several minors during their game.
But again, that's also a different field too. There's different refs. That is the lone wolf field. It's meant to be the more good reffing crew. But
I bring that one up because you can actually physically see that, other than just taking our word for the other 3 games.
That's true,
because that was happening too.
And Brandon, I'm gonna be honest. When Hatch talks about penalties, I am always a little suspicious. Sorry, Hatch, I just am.
But the one I got, Brandon was right there to see it.
But I trust your word, Brandon. You have never been a dirty player. You have never been a guy who's like trying to play the gray line, trying to fucking do that shit. If you get hit, you get out. You're just not that dude. But
I don't know, and I don't want to be that dude. I don't want to be on a team that does that shit either. Like we get on each other about
that's what he tells
on
you.
That work. Thank you. And it's
Michelle bringing you coffee.
Ice cream, yeah.
Fuck! Hey, man. show the camera, show the pod. Come on.
I told her to go put it in the freezer.
Oh, okay.
But it's I don't know. It's just fuckery all around. We only know our side. The other teams, they might have a different view of it as well. I don't know. Maybe we'll hit up Ivan or something. See if they got some weird ass penalties.
Valid.
During our games.
That would be a fair way to go about it. But yeah, so that great.
One more thing.
Oh, what's up?
One more thing during that Wolfpack game. Hatch got blamed for some shit.
No, it was the demolition game, dude.
It wasn't the demolition game. Okay.
So I run down like when AJ gets the penalty, right, and I run down and I have them get a major penalty, right. Behind me, while that's going on, apparently Paul is running down the sidelines, right, because he got eliminated, and then here comes their guy, not giving a fuck. Obviously, they're both going.
They're both watching the game.
They're both watching the game. They're not paying attention. Boom, they bump into each other, right? And now all of a sudden, we get to the pits, and now all of a sudden the head ref is like, he's like, hey, Chim, gives him the finger to like come over, and we're like, interesting. The fuck? So he walks over and he goes, Hatch, you shoulder check another player, you're out. And I go, what the fuck? I go, shoulder check? I was like, I didn't even think I bunkered the guy. I didn't even think I hit him. I didn't even think I touched him.
I'll defend Hatch on this. He doesn't get physical. He'll get verbal, but he doesn't. No. He doesn't touch other players. He knows the line.
Right? I was like, what the fuck? And then I hear on the walkie. But we go on the next point. I hear on the walkie the ref talking about like, hey, tell the player to remember the shoulder checks. And then the ref turns around and is like, player, one more, you touch another player, you're suspended. And yeah. I'm like,
And Hatch is
Okay.
trying to defend himself. He's
I'm
like, what? Oh, it's
I'm
not
like,
me.
what? I'm like, it wasn't me. It wasn't me. Then AJ is like, Hatch, shut up. Listen to the coach and just say okay. And I was like, okay. Alright.
just like that, like the same pitch, the same voice, like everything. It was funny. And then Paul's standing there watching this whole thing go down, and he goes, I think it was me. I think I shoulder checked someone on accident, or we just ran into each other. I didn't feel like we shoulder checked. I don't know. And it's like, why am I getting blamed for this shit?
That's
Right?
even fucked up too, because Hatch and Paul look nothing alike with gear on. It's
Bro,
a very obvious difference.
There is a foot and a half difference. Are you kidding me? God damn, dude. You know, this guy is Thorkel the Tall, and I'm just me.
See,
You know?
and this is one of the moments where I'm like, yeah, I believe you on this one, Hatch. There's times I don't, but this is fucked up. Come on, man.
Dude, I was like, what the fuck? And I mean, honestly, probably a part of it was added to the fact that we're all wearing the Jerry Caro number 4.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
That
now
was
you
one
guys don't
thing.
have individual numbers. Yeah.
That was one thing that I like, dude, when the tragic loss of Jerry Caro happened, I was like, dude, like, we gotta do something. Right? So now we have jerseys that all say number 4, and they have the word Caro in the number 4.
I like that.
Right.
It was a
Do you
nice
have
touch.
it on you?
I mean, I can go grab it. Would you like me to go grab it?
Yeah, go get it real
if
quick.
it's
You
close,
guys posted
yeah.
some stories and stuff of it,
Let
but
me go grab it.
Yeah.
Phil.
yeah, we got you, Ash. While he's grabbing that, we can move on to other parts of the tournament because there was some stories on the pro side that I did want to talk about. Speaking of Jerry, PK Jr. had a 5-pack, and Jerry guided him on that one. That's my total belief because he
having a
played
tournament.
He played that 5-pack point the same way Jerry would have done that shit too, and like that was a very emotional moment for me watching. And then Patrick goes back to the fucking pits, you know, starts being like, that was for Jerry. That was for fucking Jerry. And like has this moment where tears start to come to his eyes. I forget who it was on the Iron Man. He kind of checks him and he's like, hey, suck it up. Suck it up. Game's not over. That was one of the most beautiful moments of the weekend for me because Patrick Kraft Jr., he's a guy who plays a little more emotion. He plays some stuff on his sleeve, but that moment, I know he felt his brother with him, and that, like, yeah, I won't get over that moment. It was probably one of the most powerful, just kind of emotional moments to come from the weekend. One thing to Ironman's credit, Jerry's jersey was hanging in their pits all entire weekend. All of their huddles were around it. He was 100% with them on that field. To be honest, I wish the Ironman did better. I wanted them to win the event. I don't think they had it all there completely, but I was rooting for those guys.
It's storybook ending, right?
And it's a hard thing to go through and then have to, keep playing. And so yeah, that was definitely one of my favorite moments for the weekend. Was not only that point and watching Patrick just play like his brother, but fucking yeah, the whole thing after it too. Hatch, you want to show the jersey real quick? We were talking about that.
Here we go. Check this out. There's the front. Now we got the back.
This is Hatch's. Yep. So I like how you guys did it because yeah, you still had your nameplates on there, but then that way there's still something for Jerry. So
it was for Caro. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. And there were multiple points where we were like, boys, but we play with what's on the front of the jersey. Now let's play for what's on the back right now. Right. And we all had that spiritual energy where that was very hard hitting to all of us in NorCal, and we were one of those teams that were just fighting for Jerry, honestly.
Yeah.
And it was very emotional in the pits.
He was, he's a NorCal man. It's kind of a small community up there, especially when you get into the top levels of paintball up in Northern California. It's a handful group of 20, 25 guys, and we all know each other pretty well at this point.
Absolutely. And so when something like that happens, it's like, bro, like we had to do something, and that was our way of commemorating Jerry by putting the number 4 on our jerseys with his name inside of it.
Yep. And I did see that Paul donated his jersey. You guys all signed it to World of War Paint,
Luna.
which is great because I know he worked with Jerry a lot. They were very close. Jerry coached Dave's team. All around I was very proud of you boys for that. I thought it was a great little kind of touchstone to remember Jerry. And the other thing on that is I don't know when it happened during the weekend because I wasn't there, but Team Ironman, they posted that video of all the guys who knew Jerry coming out to center field and just sharing a drink. I thought that was very powerful. I mean, it's kind of the cliche that, like, yeah, we're all fucking enemies, but at the same time, we all do this strange thing, and so we all kind of have to have a level of respect for each other. And it was clear when you saw how many different people were out there from different teams, how much, he kind of made an impact on not just, his community in paintball, but just paintball in general.
Absolutely. And, I feel like we should have more things like that, where it's a time on the Thursday where we all can get together, and there's like an area where we're just like, you just commemorate everybody, the Tim Montressors, the Jerry Caros, the Bobbies, where
Marcus.
We just pour one out for the boys.
Yeah. And, it's one of those things too. I wish it didn't, have to have a death to have moments like that. But, it's just, hey, a good reminder. Something we always talk about on this podcast, let your boys know you love them. Sometimes in life you don't get that final moment.
Yeah, it definitely puts stuff into perspective.
So. Absolutely. So, that was our match wise of playing and everything like that.
Yeah, no, we already were moving forward into the pro stuff. We were talking about PK's point that he had. A couple other amazing moments from the weekend. Speaking of talking penalties, Scott Stewart, I think it was either a 1-on-2 or maybe a 2-on-2 that like guys traded out on. But Tim Brusselback, come on, Timmy, he's running off the field, talking something to Scott. Like, he says some words. Scott obviously is like, same thing Hatch did. Ref, what the fuck? He's talking words on the field as a dead player. That should be a penalty, which would have won Paintball Fit the point instantly. Scott doesn't get the penalty. He's begging for it. He's sitting there in the wedge, and he's like, are you guys fucking kidding me? Okay. And you can tell his body language was just like, that's fucking bullshit.
I feel you.
At the same point in time, Scott was out of fucking paint. He had no pods on his back. He was picking balls up off the ground, maybe 20 in his loader. He's not doing good for paint. The only benefit is the other guy's in the same exact position. Scott comes out of the wedge after just putting a ball in his hopper and hits the cleanest, most nonchalant, just... Oh, yeah, I got him. And then starts slow walking to the buzzer. Doesn't want to fucking go at all. And then they towel right after that immediately. So he just starts slow walking back to his pits. One of the more gangster things I've seen in paintball, man. It was filthy.
When Tim was talking shit to him that point? Same point?
Yes, it was that point that he, not talking shit, but like as he was coming off, Tim said something.
Something said.
Yeah,
gotcha.
The mics couldn't pick it up, so I don't know if it was to Scott or maybe to one of the refs or something. I don't have that context.
He's talking.
But he said something for sure. And so it was this beautiful moment of just like, all right, you guys don't want to help me? Fuck it. One ball. All right, I got him out. It was so gangster. Definitely love seeing that. Other big moment from the weekend, probably one of the hardest moments I've seen in paintball. If you're watching the finals, Russian go up kind of not big, but they go up by a few points in that first half. Tauntauns, they finally realized, all right, we got to start being aggressive. We got to get down this field. We need points coming back. They pushed the pace insane. Fedorov was playing every fucking point and was on his knees in the dirt every fucking point.
Great to see him back, bro.
He had an amazing fucking wipe that was caught on camera. He got shot in the ankle.
Oh, the ankle.
Slid, ditched it off. Also had the quick hand check as it looked like he was going for a pod. That's how you cheat, kids, all right? Look, I can't hate him that much for it. It was smooth. But... after, like, I think it's either the last point, Tauntauns, they had that 45-second point. Now they're down by 1. All right, let's go. There's a chance here. Fedorov runs to the pits. He is dying, man. He's wearing full beanie. He's fucking in that heat. He is exhausted.
Ice bag.
He doesn't grab a water. He grabs an ice bag, throws the ice bag over his head, gets it down his shirt. Is like, oh, thank God. All right, that's cool. Where's my gun? And instantly grabs his gun, mask on, goes back out onto the field. One of the more hard things I've seen in the sport of paintball, because damn, that is a savage right there. His gas tank was empty, and he was like, no, I'm playing the next point.
And let me just say, the Tauntauns, they definitely... Dude, they didn't have Oliver. I talked to Axel day one, and I'm like, what's up, Axel? Where's Oliver at? And he's like, oh, we not here. And I'm like, what the fuck, dude? And I'm like, well, that's fucking insane, because Oliver's at every event, right? So if you look in the pits of that finals match, Oliver wasn't in there. So, and Oliver gives plus 50% stat boost. And
fair enough. I know you love Oliver, but it's
You look in their pits, like, oh man, like the players were doing everything so much on their own. Like the Tauntauns were gassed, and they looked like they just the heat got to them, I guess.
And also, I mean, they're playing. That's their fourth game or third game that day.
Yeah.
Plus playing 4 matches in the prelims, plus playing the 3-on-3 tournament. Yeah, you're gonna be fucking gassed.
And that day, Sunday was the hottest, most humid day.
By far.
Friday was really nice. Friday was really nice. Saturday was hot, a little more humid. Sunday was just miserable. It fucking sucked.
The end of Saturday was, dude, ass.
Yeah. But Sunday was certainly like low 90s, but it was like 90% humidity. It was
God,
fucking ridiculous.
Yeah, disgusting.
It's hot when it's dark outside in the morning.
Yeah, that's never fun. You're fucked if you're like getting out to your car and you're like, oh shit, I don't need my sweatshirt. This is not good.
Yeah, but
yeah. So I mean, other things from the pro field side. Fuck. I want to give credit because it's not my comment, but one of the funniest things that I saw about the semifinals matchups was, sorry, babe, I have to watch the Floridian Russians and the French play Texas and Ohio. Because that's what it was. It was Russians versus X Factor, and then Tauntauns versus Heat, or that might have been switched.
Yeah.
But that comment, it was like, yeah, welcome to paintball. It's fucking crazy. Like it's shit doesn't make sense here. So I wanted to give a shout out to that one.
That's actually a really funny comment. But dude, all weekend, it seemed like the pro matches were going relatively kind of quick once the first body was killed.
I don't agree with you.
Really?
I think a lot of those games.
I don't even agree with myself.
A lot of those games were slow because, let's be real, if you have smart players who can hold a cross on this field, it is very dangerous to try and go, break them out of that. You can't just start sending dudes up the middle, kind of getting lost in spots, and then be able to drop in on one. So we saw a lot of games where teams were able to get maybe a kill off the break. But then it still took them 4 or 5 minutes to kind of press that advantage and be able to get into a spot where now we have you contained and we can actually, make some moves off that. Sunday sped up for sure. I think the everyone wanted to play a little faster on Sunday, but I mean Friday we saw a 2-point match.
Yeah,
that was insane. That was absolutely insane. But I feel like the matches would go fast when the first guy would make a run through. Right, and then the second guy would just react off of him, and then just take that next spot.
True, and I feel like that was a lot of people just watching Kirill playing up the middle.
100%.
He was
Smotrov too.
Yeah, Smotrov had some good points up there, but I really feel like Kirill understood his job up there. He knew how to be a fucking nuisance up in those 2 bricks in the center, and I think he kind of collapsed a lot of teams in because of it.
And that's a concrete
pro.
Was
Smotrov even at the event? I don't think he was.
Smotrov was the first guy that would run through, and Kirill would come second.
The Russians, one of their mainstays weren't there.
Sergey,
that's who I'm thinking. Sorry, I'm getting Russian S names confused. But yeah, so no, I know
Smotrov was there, and he was playing lights
good.
Out.
And it would have been interesting to see Sergey on this field. I think he probably could have fucked some people up. It would have been a layout he could have had some success
they even
on.
Won without him.
Yeah, fair enough. Another thing, I gained so much respect for Kirill in the post-game speech that Dai posted of him.
That was good.
How can you hate that man? Just like everything he said there, I was like, you know what? I'm glad you won this event, brother. Like it was, he was not only just respectful to paintball as a whole, but also to the Tauntauns. Also, just calling out the fact of like, this is miserable out here. Why are we doing this? Like it's playing like this is insane. I guess another great thing from that finals match, social media wise, Verbal's clip of J-Rab and Axel fighting on the Dorito side. Look, that's the same J-Rab I watched who taught me how to snap shoot when I was 12 years old.
Same exact
Don't come out of the bunker in the same spot. Watch that clip. That is a breakdown in how you effectively snap shoot and gunfight someone. Axel kept coming out in the same spot. Now he's fast as fuck and it's hard to sneak a ball in on him. But J-Rab realized, all right, I can just keep working my way up this wedge.
Micro adjustments.
And one will slip in there when he comes out. And that's exactly what he did. Try to emulate that. If you want to be a good gunfighter, go watch that clip a couple times and see what he's doing there. Because he's given that info out for a long time, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, he gave it out for free on YouTube. It's probably still up somewhere.
We can't find it, but it's probably up there somewhere. Really? I looked for it after we talked about it on one of the pods, and I couldn't find it. I know it's somewhere on PB Nation's YouTube channel, but it's buried. It was a long time ago.
Over 10 years now for sure, right? And
probably 13, 14, because it was like 2011, 2012 that video came out.
Interesting. Okay. Damn, that is a long time ago. But yeah, J-Rab was it ever since J-Rab joined the Russians, he has shown that he has not lost a step.
No,
not even close.
He obviously likes playing with those guys. Like it's bringing something out in him that I don't think we were seeing on the AC Dallas J-Rab or the
we saw it on Impact. We saw it on Impact for a while. We saw it on Impact for a while, but now it seems like
reason why that fell apart.
Absolutely, I do. Right, but it just seems like he is with the Russians. Those guys are machines, and obviously, when J-Rab came up under the Russian banner, he learned how to be a machine.
Yeah.
So I think it's very obvious on why he's able to fit that puzzle piece in. Because they taught the guy how to play. I mean, obviously not to that extent, but
yes, but also I think he just has a lot of respect for that organization, which also kind of helps. I think it's an easy spot for him to kind of slide in on.
They all have they all have the exact common mind, at the game.
Did you find it, Baird?
And the thing is, yep, I'm pretty sure this is it.
What was it?
10 years ago. Damn, Paintball University. Yeah. I do remember this.
No,
I feel like there was one even before this one. This isn't even
the video I'm talking about.
Before this one.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's one before this one.
Hatch, because he was playing in like a hyperball tube, right? And he was like showing come out one side, come out the other side, go high,
yeah,
go
but this
low.
is also good. This is also a good one.
Yeah, that's a good one as well.
Definitely.
See if you can find it's either like a hyperball or like a tower, because like I know it's like a black thing that he's standing behind snap shooting. I guarantee there's someone in the audience who's like, I remember that video when on PB Nation way back in the day.
Let me go to my favorites. Yeah.
But yeah, so I guess kind of wrapping up the NXL Ohio stuff, I did play along with Kurgel. On the paintball event, had my standard day. I had one bad loss, which was Uprising losing to Leverage. Game wasn't fun. I lost quite a bit of money there. That was not a great time. The other huge game I lost over the weekend was not even in paintball. Kurgel put the hard brakes on. The limits on the bets over the weekend, I think at one point were down to $25 was all you could bet on each game. So I was sitting with some house money in my account, and I wanted to try and push my luck and make more. Well, we also had the CS2 major going on last week, and the FaZe, our boys, they were playing the Mongols in the semifinals. FaZe was favored minus 130. About 4 days ago, in the round prior to that, there was already this same matchup, and FaZe 2-0'd Mongols. So I was like, all right, I'm going over to my buddy Two Ton's house. We're gonna watch it on the big screen. Let's throw $200 on FaZe. Let's have a good fucking time. Let's get really into this game.
Oh, you're hyped.
FaZe lost 0-2 to the Mongols, bro.
No. Damn it, bro.
If you guys know Counter-Strike, Simple was playing with FaZe. Simple is regarded as maybe one of the best players of all time. If not, he is in the top 3 conversation without a conversation. Very good player. He looked scared. He looked nervous. Every single time this man had to make an op shot, his whole body behind his monitor would jump. Like, it was like he was like nervous. Like you could tell something was off in him. Alige, the North American player, the last one in the major who was playing with FaZe, he had a great 2-on-1 clutch, but that was about it. Just really could never get his rifle rolling the whole game. Shout out to Kerrigan, their IGL. He was trying to bring all of his magic in, but that's a 36-year-old man who cannot frag with the best of them anymore. So he was just trying to get his boys hyped up. And it never happened. The scrappy Mongolian team, they were able to get it done, and me and Tanner were about to burn down his house together. It was a little bit rough there.
Fuck.
So that one sucked, but that was my biggest loss of the weekend. And then Kirigo put on the fat limits, so I mean I essentially went even on the weekend. So hey, that's a win. You know, I didn't give them any money back, but
congrats.
But yeah, it could have been a lot better of a weekend if Uprising didn't lose the leverage and FaZe didn't lose to the Mongols. Both upsets, both things that were not supposed to happen.
Damn, that's a little rough.
That is unfortunate. Was Sam there?
Sam?
Bennett from was he photographer?
No, Sam shoots Call of Duty, not Counter-Strike. Two different games.
Gotcha, sorry.
Yeah,
my bad. I don't know if it was just FaZe, a whole FaZe.
If he was shooting the Austin Major, that would have been fucking insane because, yeah, those would have been some crazy photos. Counter-Strike is a lot bigger than Call of Duty. If you don't watch either of them, the magnitude's different. Call of Duty has a good fan base. It's got, events in different places and stuff, but
CS is just a different league
CS is a world game. Like, there are Swedish people who've played that game every day for the last 25 years, and they won't stop. They just love it.
That is like the main game of Sweden. For sure.
No, it really is. Like, it's huge over there. But also, like, now you have the Asian side getting really good as well. Like, that's, for a long time, they were always far behind, the North American region, the European region. But, like, I think we had Mongols were the deepest to make it in this tournament, but there was also, like, a couple other teams that made it into, like, the round 2, which is, like, the first time that's happened in a major before. So... yeah, it's cool to see. A lot of people are getting pretty good at Counter-Strike around the world, which is making it very, very difficult. North America has not had its time in the sun since 2018, and we would like to have it back.
It's a long time. We're low-key creeping up on 10 years. Low-key.
Yeah, the problem is, too, the team that's winning it all right now is French, which fucking sucks. Team Vitality. But... good luck beating them. They're just absolute world beaters. It is insane how good those 5 guys playing together are. Especially they're led by Apex. I will say Apex is one of my favorite players. He's a French dude, but he's from that old school generation of Counter-Strike. He's talking his shit. He had some great one-liners that he dropped during the major that were, picked up on mics and stuff. And hey, that's what I love with Counter-Strike, man. There are no fucking rules about, like, shit talking or any of that stuff. It's whatever goes. Whereas, like, in Valorant, if you shoot bodies after a round, they will fine you $10,000.
They're fucking reporting you. I hate that shit, bro.
It is. I'm not gonna lie, it's kind of gay. Like, there's a reason why I've never once cared about Valorant, because that's why Counter-Strike is amazing. Having these guys who are just putting their heart on their sleeve, and when they, beat around, they're yelling across the table like, yeah, fuck you, motherfucker. Dude, yeah. Apex had one that was so good. He's like, because they were trying to fake a site and then come back B, and he's like, how did you not know we were B? We were all B. Even my mom was B. And it was,
I love that.
It was such a good one. But they're just getting into people's heads. It was brilliant. So yeah, the Counter-Strike major wrapped up. The other thing, as you guys know, if you listen to the show for a while, one of my favorite esports presentators, FA, or Shox as she's known in some other games, she was out here casting or doing like interviews for the major. I didn't go downtown to go see if I could run into her. I didn't want to be that creepy, but there definitely was a part of me that was very happy. I was like, there she is. She's in Austin. We love you. She's great. And yeah, her outfit on Sunday, god fucking damn, man. Go look that up if you want to, because Jesus Christ. Whew. That would turn a gay man straight. I'm going to be honest, brother.
Hell yeah, brother. Hell yeah.
But yeah, so that was my weekend watching NXL Paintball Pro and a little bit of Counter-Strike as well.
Nice. So one of the things that happened over the weekend, the first night, we're like going through Walmart grocery shopping, right? And I'm looking over and I go,
did you look it up, Brando?
I'm still looking, but I chuckled at this. At Hatch.
I'm like, oh, dude, why don't we just get a fucking firework? Because fuck it.
I did see this.
Right? And so we get back to the hotel, and dude, it is
Airbnb. Yeah.
Sorry, Airbnb. You're right.
The bib.
Heat B&B because it's fucking hot as shit in there. But it's a ginormous watermelon, and I'm like, oh, dude, my boy Micah loves watermelon. We're like, this one's for Micah, and I light this shit. And the second I get it lit, the fucking neighbor is walking down the street, and he's like, but his house is right next to our B&B. He's like walking down the street. He's like, "Hey, you better not light that shit off in front of my fucking house." And then we're like, and then
It's already too late.
It's already too late.
The fuse is lit.
It's been lit for a second, right? And I'm like, well, here we go. So all of us are low key like, all right, well, we have to fucking. This guy gonna get pissed off and confront us about this shit?
So before you go any further, this is a big thing I need to ask because our audience doesn't know. I don't know. Was this a fountain or was this a cake / mortar? Was this sending shit into the air or was this just like, a couple feet off the ground, little fountain?
It was just
style?
a couple feet off the ground, but it low key was a little unstable. There were times where it was shooting out to the sides and we're like, yo, what the fuck?
We're jumping.
Yeah,
Whoa.
it was getting way too close to us.
So
way
a little
too close
safe
to
and
us.
sane fountain, the things you can get
Yes.
back in California. Nothing too
Absolutely.
crazy.
Nothing
no 4-inch
too crazy,
shells.
right? Absolutely. It's chill, right? And then motherfucker is standing there watching it. We're at this point we're all like, damn, all right, are we gonna have to like?
He totally killed your guys' high.
Right? He totally.
At first, yeah.
Yeah,
Right,
because you guys were like, let's set off the firework. Oh no!
Then it's like fading down. Now all of a sudden the firework goes down. Now we can see him through the firework, right? Because he's standing on the exact opposite end, right? And now he's like, all right, that's pretty cool. But last one though, right? And we're like, yep, last one,
you
bro.
only bought one. Like,
Yeah, right. And dude, it was so cool because I've never seen fireflies in real life. So that was my first time ever seeing fireflies.
I only have once, and that was when I was in North Carolina. Yeah.
And that was honestly a really cool experience.
They actually
I'll be
call them
honest-
lightning bugs over on that side of the country
They do.
too.
Yeah.
They do.
Yeah.
I'm not even gonna lie, dude.
We
Low-key,
us
got me-
Yankees.
I'm not even gonna lie, dude. Shit, Loki got me emotional. I was like, damn, dude, this is like a beautiful like landscape. It just reminds me of like.
He's singing Owl City the whole time.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
I was. Oh yeah, dude. Every time we get in the car, it's carpool karaoke with me, every single time. And yeah, it was just an overall fantastic trip with the boys.
Hatch is the type of guy who gets emotional seeing lightning bugs for the first time.
Yeah.
Absolutely, bro. I was like, damn, dude, this shit's beautiful.
The
It
beauty
took my
that's
breath
in the
away.
world.
Yep. I'd like to make
Myself believe that planet Earth turns slowly.
Copyright. But
My
yeah,
neighbors hate me for yelling that.
It was who gives a fuck?
Gives a
Right.
fuck. I gotta live with them, so I do a little bit.
Valid. Hey, don't light that shit off. Hey, don't light that shit off. They're probably.
Hey, don't sing that
yell.
shit.
Yeah.
How does that work? But yeah.
uh,
So the other thing, you guys had a lot of karaoke during the weekend. This was something I've been hearing the rumors. Was it just the carpool stuff or what?
Oh, dude. So we went to the last day, Sunday night. We went to this little like
This
hole in the wall
bar lounge, yeah.
Little dive
Yeah, bar lounge. We're getting some normal like we're getting,
hookah
getting some
lounge?
bar food.
Hookah
right,
lounge, hookah lounge.
Some cheap burgers. I got some wings. Right, we're just having a good time. Right, and
wings are good.
everybody else is singing, but I'm just the only guy fucking singing. In our little room, no mic, no nothing, no karaoke, just me singing. Right, and
No
one
one
of their
asked for it
drinks-
either. It was just
No, one of their
unprompted.
drinks was the Baja Blasted, and I'm like, all right, boys, we all get our drinks, and I'm like, cheers, love you guys, live your day, live your every day like it's a Baja Blast, because you never know when it's gonna be your Baja last, boys. And it was just awesome
Unfortunate
being able
timing.
to. Yeah, it was just awesome being able to spend another weekend with the boys because it's just an awesome experience, and there's nobody else I would rather be doing this with.
You just said that, and I don't know why I've never thought of doing this. I'm gonna get like fucking. I'm gonna start using Baja Blast as a fucking mixer, bro. I feel like that would be a great experience.
Absolutely,
Throw
it's
some
a
fucking
great one.
vodka in there. God damn it, that'd be a
It's
great
it's a
mixable
great-
drink.
The only
mixture.
part that's
delicious.
The only part that's truly hard about it, they didn't have actual Baja Blast in it, right? They had like a taste alike, right?
Yeah, some
Don't
bullshit.
get me wrong.
Yeah, you
Right.
can buy it in the stores now.
Oh, see, I didn't even know that. I just thought it was regular Baja
Well, I'm a
Blast.
Baja Blast connoisseur,
Yeah,
so I
that's
definitely
the thing.
knew.
Yeah, Hatch knew. I
right.
didn't.
And so,
Question:
Yeah,
Hatch,
the
is he
pot-
super delayed for you as well?
hello?
Am I? Me or Hatch?
You, Braided.
Oh, here, give me say one and I'll say two right after.
One.
Two.
All right,
Okay,
pretty
your
quick.
audio's fine, but your video is like 30 seconds delayed for me. You still haven't said
Really?
one yet.
He's
I thought-
on sync with me.
Okay. All right. Hatch is coming through fine. Hopefully this doesn't fuck up the recording. If Brandon is now out of sync with his audio and video for the rest of the show, blame him, not me, all right? This wasn't my fault.
It's
All
okay.
right.
It's okay. But and
That laptop's
okay,
melting
so
down over there.
No.
It's okay, my monitor doesn't work. We're all having issues today, guys. This is a scuffed podcast.
Dude, okay, one thing that was fun, dude, commentating. That was hella fun.
Yeah, we didn't bring that up. I did actually record it for you, Hatch. Do you want to watch that in the post show?
No way. Oh, fuck yeah.
All right,
that was fun.
We can watch some of that in the post show. I didn't get the whole thing. Brandon sent me a text, and I was like, oh, shit, yeah, Hatch is on. So I instantly pulled it up, started OBS recording. Dude, you're good at that shit. You're very good at that shit, Hatch. I liked having you in the booth. It was some good color commentary. Your booth partner, I don't know his name.
Matt.
He's a little bland at times, so it was good to have some kind of spice next there, with him. I was laughing because during your guys' BR Factory game, he knew every single BR Factory player, first and last name.
He has the roster right in front of him.
So, but then he would go over to you guys, and he did not know your guys' names. So I was like, shit. This guy's a little bit of a homer for one of these teams.
Maybe he was like, I'm not even gonna try because they're all number 4.
Maybe you guys still have nameplates though, so it's
valid.
It's not the hardest thing.
So the way that it was, because we were actually in a tower.
I heard that. Yeah, so David told me that.
Nice as hell, if I'm being honest. You had to climb up to it. No complaint.
I think that's the first time they've had a tower.
Yes.
I think every other time it's been on the ground.
And it was nice, if I'm being honest. I was able to see, besides the names, unless they were directly below me, you weren't really able to see the names. But overall, hey, NXL, if you want a good commentator, let me know. I'm here.
Honestly,
right?
I'm glad because I know you reached out like before the event to kind of set that up and see if you can get in the booth again. Please keep doing that. And Matty, at some point in time in the future, after he's done it a couple of events, please bring him up to the pro side.
Man,
people are not ready for it. I love your commentary. It's great. You hit him with a jinky shaggy at one point. Had me dying. I was dying laughing.
Oh, dude, it's just fun being up there, right? Because it was also a little difficult at times because obviously we're still in the middle. That was day 1, middle of the prelims. I didn't want to give away a bunch of stuff. I'm like, oh, maybe this guy should go to this shot and bounce it off this. You know what I'm saying? I didn't want to just say that, right? But I had to definitely watch my tongue when it came to some of that.
Trying to let it kind of develop in front of you more than predicting what might happen.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right. And I feel like I know semi-pro enough to where I know a lot of the players. A lot of them are my peers and friends, to where I can give a pretty colored commentary.
Yeah, no, for sure. And we'll watch some of it in the post show, but for our regular show audiences, there's 2 other parts I wanted to point out. One was you bringing up from the sidelines and how you were like, I'm on a paintball podcast that makes sense. You totally confused your co-commentator because he's like, it makes sense. Okay, it makes sense to do. That's great. And it's just like, no. We make sense. Like actual pennies to doing the show. And that's right. He's not wrong about that. So I loved that part. And then the other one was at the end of your segment, they had brought the camera in on you guys and you're like, oh yeah, thanks for having me in the booth. And hey, just remember guys, stabbers don't get stabbed. And he looked so like, okay, thanks for the Charles Manson quote, Hatch.
Oh, yeah.
No. That's a Hatch quote. That's a Hatch OG.
I know. A wise man once told me, stabbers don't get stabbed. So he's like, that's some compelling information. I wonder where he heard that.
Yeah, no, he definitely thought that was like some homicidal killer thing. And it's like, no, it's just Hatch and how he plays the game.
Absolutely. And it was just a ton of fun doing that. I hope I get invited back. It seemed like he enjoyed it as well. So you never know.
You should. You should for sure.
I look at it if I'm being honest, where I'm like, dude, if I get good at this, I could be the next fucking Matty Marshall. Like,
Matty started somewhere.
Exactly. I'm a dreamer.
I will say, Hatch, you're more the Todd Martinez in the Matty
for sure
lineup.
Without a doubt.
You get what I mean? Like, I don't mean that in a bad way. I just mean like that's why him and Matty work so well together, because they have that, like, Matty's bringing the very good information, the high level stuff, and Todd's kind of keeping it rolling, keeping it moving, keeping it light. So yeah, no, I was very proud when I watched you, man. It was a good job, and I feel like I've trained you up a little bit over here. So proud
dude,
father.
Absolutely. I'm a decent on the PR trained.
You're way better on the mic.
F-bombs,
way better on the mic than you once were.
I'm getting okay at it, right? And dude, I just love the sport so much that if I can give back in any kind of way like that, it's it's a responsibility I feel like I have. You know,
We got
I love the game
more to
so
go.
much.
Got more to do.
Way more to do.
Well, boys, let's move on past the event. We just talked about it for an hour and 40 minutes, and most of our audience is probably either tired of it or want us to move on to something else, and we will give them that.
I got some more. I got some more whenever we're ready.
On the event, or
no, just on activities at the event. So whenever I'll spice it in. So.
okay, we can talk about that later on. But as you guys know, we are not a paintball podcast. We have talked way too much about paintball during this podcast. That is a non-paintball podcast.
Yeah, that's it. Next 3 episodes, no paintball.
No paintball. Actually,
Peace out, y'all.
our guest next week, we're going to be talking about a different projectile sport. It's going to be pretty funny.
That's what I'm talking about. I was like, things out of the event. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I got you.
Not
I got
at
you.
the paintball field.
But let's move on to our favorite topic that we always talk about when it's on the air, because big things have happened inside the tank. Ladies and gentlemen, it has been a gaslight since season 1. Every time the fish go into the tank, someone will get on TTS and say, Bam Margera has died, and try to convince the fish, who have no phones, no access to the outside world, that unfortunately Bam Margera has passed. This has been a thing that has happened in season 1, season 2, season 2.5, season 3, and they tried it again in season 4. Except there was a difference this time. In season 4, they brought Bam into the tank. Ladies and gentlemen,
The Bam.
last night, Bam Margera entered the tank for about an hour, and then he took off. And then he came back today for another hour, and then took off again. But he was there. They put up 2 skate ramps in the living room. Bam was shredding the gnar. Everyone else was eating shit because none of them know how to skate, which was pretty funny. But seeing that happen, Fishtank made it. Fishtank is bigger. Fishtank is better than ever. They actually got Bam Margera inside the tank with these random autistic people.
That's an A-list celebrity for me.
He's not an A-list celebrity anymore. We can be honest with that. But he is still an amazing celebrity. That is a huge name. So it was cool. There was some funny content. They waxed one of the dudes who was there, Freddie. That looks so fucking painful because they literally just put multiple strips all over him and everyone just started ripping. I guarantee you, he was screaming like his life depended on it, and I don't blame the man. I'd do the same shit. You're not a bitch for that, Freddie. That's okay. But yeah, there was some other funny moments with that. As always, if you want like the nitty gritty, our boy Cucumber Feet, he's got it for you. But today was actually the big information, was the big news, and the big thing that happened. On Twitter, around 3 o'clock today, they posted a graphic saying that Fishtank was going to have its first State of the Union address at 5 p.m. Eastern. They were going to get on, and apparently there was going to be some big news that they had to tell us. I missed it by 5 minutes, so I had to wait for the Twitter clip to come up so I could actually watch it. I was that late, and it was already over. So, if anyone here has watched Season 3 or watched recaps of Season 3, you know that at the end of that season, shit went off the rails. They were supposed to stay in the house for all 42 days, but something happened. For some reason, they were forced to leave the property. We still don't know that reason as the public. But what Fishtank did is they put all the fish inside an RV. They took a road trip to Vegas, and they did some things out there for a couple days. And that ended up being the finale of the season. Well, now we know why a little bit. Fishtank Season 4 is taking place in the same house that they did Fishtank Season 1. It is in a residential neighborhood. The people of that neighborhood have gotten fed the fuck up.
Already?
At first, they were dealing with like tic-tac fines, little noise ordinances and stuff like that. What Jet and Sam announced to the world today was it got to a point where the city is now threatening major legal repercussions on them for running this production, in a coded area where they're not supposed to, and they're just trying to throw everything at them they can to get them the fuck out of there.
Oh my god, fucking crybabies, bro.
Exactly. But here's the thing. You can't keep the fish tank down.
No, you can't.
They have announced at some point in time during the future, we don't know yet, they are going to be loading all the fish into a box and moving them to House 2. Now, if you don't know, House 2 is a meme from Fishtank. It has always been this thing that when someone gets eliminated, they're not eliminated. They just went on to house number 2. And it's always been this gaslight for the current contestants because then they don't know of like, wait, if I'm eliminated, do I actually go home, or like do I keep doing this somewhere else for the next 3 weeks? So we don't know where yet. I will say the rumor mill has been there is a potential they're going back to the season 2 house. And what
Season 4 house 2.
And what people are kind of putting together is this may be actually something that was planned. They might be going through all of the houses that they've previously done the show at, because if you've watched Fishtank, it's been 3 separate properties: the season 1 house, the season 2 house, and then Famous House was the season 3 house. So the conspiracy theory right now, and we'll see this play out over the next, what day we're on? We're day 12, so the next 30 days, is that they're going to take the fish to all of the houses and have them be and be in all those environments and kind of give the fans some fan service in that way. It'll be interesting to see what happens. We're not fully sure, but the thing we do know for sure, they're going to be leaving this house because the city that they're in is threatening legal repercussions on them. And it has gotten to the point where Sam and Jet realize, yeah, we have to fucking go, or else this is going to become jail time or like actually serious fines that we cannot pay. So that's a little bit of a bummer. But the show goes on. So they're all hanging out in the house right now. They did one of my favorite challenges they do every year. They did the disability challenge today, which means every fish is given a disability of some type. Could be blind, could be deaf, could be schizophrenic, could be like paraplegic or something like that. And then until the challenge is over, whoever is the best at being that disability is who wins. We started, so I don't know who ended up winning it. They're done with that challenge now. But shout out to season 1 Vance. His was still the greatest performance we've ever seen during this. He had schizophrenia. People legitimately thought he was schizo. Like in the chat, they were like, oh my God, this guy lost it. He finally snapped.
Great actor.
But the other big thing that happened today, and this will be for, the Fishtank fans, we've had a freeloader enter the tank, the first freeloader of the season. And if you guys aren't aware, freeloaders are contestants who come in, but they're not eligible to win the main prize. They're just there to help make content. They are eligible to win challenges, so they can still win some money from the show and have kind of an incentive to be there. Brandon, who do you think the first freeloader they brought in was? It's not any of the actual freeloaders. So think of like someone connected to the show.
Fatty.
It's not Fatty. It's not Frank. It's not, those guys.
Someone that is connected to the show?
Someone that is connected to the show.
Fuck.
Someone who's been on 2 seasons of the show.
2 seasons?
Bert.
Not Bert.
No, he's only been
Bert.
one.
No, well, they're never bringing Bert back.
Damn.
I hate Bert.
I don't know.
Letty is back in the tank, bro. She is back in the S1 house where it all began. She's the first freeloader this season. She's in the tank with everyone, meeting them, hanging out. She's already said multiple times that she's way more nervous this time around, and that it's weird. She thought she was done with all this shit.
It's bigger and better.
But yeah, so Letty was in season 1. She was actually the winner, the runner-up of season 1. Josie ended up winning. And then she also came back for season 2.5, which was the Blood Game season, my favorite season of Fish Games, which... It has been announced season 4.5 is coming very shortly after after season 4 wraps up. Our boy Scott Sullivan, he is reprising his role as Cage, the Vampire Slayer. I've been talking with Scott. We're probably going to get him back on, after he goes through that and he has some more stories from the season 4.5. But
that's awesome.
But it is a great time to be a Fishtank fan, man. It is. Our boy Cucumber Feet is putting out edits every single morning at 7 a.m. Every time I wake up, the video's already out. He's absolutely killing it. The tank itself is been very entertaining. There's been some very funny guests, very autistic people so far in the tank. God.
Dude, when they brought the fortune teller and Aria was. Yeah. They put him up against the fortune teller, and the fortune teller just couldn't beat his autism.
This is a fortune teller from New Orleans. Like this was not a gaslight. This was a person they hired to bring on the show. I forget her name, but she was like an 80-year-old woman who has been doing spiritual and voodoo things in New Orleans for her whole life. for everyone, it kind of worked. They were like, "Oh my god, you knew that? Oh my, that's crazy! How did you do this?" Then they bring out the final boss, the autistic REA. She could not crack him. Everything she said, he was like, "Well, yeah, but you wouldn't know that," or like, "Yeah, you're just guessing right now." But yeah, okay, that's a lucky guess. But no, and it was just this like standoff of an immovable object and a unstoppable force going against each other. I think that was what day 7, day 8, something like that.
Yeah, I think 8. Yeah.
Day 8, if you want to go back and watch some of the video of that on Cucumber Feet's channel. But man, Fishtank, it's here. I love it. Every time it's on, makes me so happy. I've been working at home, as people on this podcast know. It has been streaming off my phone to my TV essentially the whole entire week. If you guys see on my phone background, it is playing on my other monitor right now. I'm addicted to this shit. I love Fishtank. The last couple days have been kind of chill, and not much has been going on. But now, after the State of the Union address, we realize it's because they've been dealing with legal issues of people trying to shut them down and press charges on them and all this shit. So yeah, that's kind of my Fishtank wrap up for the week. I know we always try to keep you guys in the loop over here, but just go watch it. Go buy a season pass so you can say for free at fishtank.live. So every time they play that ad on the website, the whole chat, everyone waits for her to say faggot, and everyone is just instantly spamming it in the chat. It is so fucking funny, man. The community of people over there is insane. There's 14,000 people online right now. None of the other seasons have ever had that many people watching on a random Tuesday at like 10 o'clock at night.
And is that just for the fishtank.live website?
That is just the website. That's not including the Twitter live stream, the YouTube live stream, the Kick live stream. The show blew up this season. Which
they're able to go on YouTube.
Yes, but they also have to censor a lot of things, so it's definitely like they're trying to push you over to the site. It's meant to be like an ad thing for the site.
That's cool.
But it's also kind of weird too, because there's obviously a lot of people who've never watched Fishtank before watching it for the first time, and
what is this off the chain shit?
They're not they don't know where they are. We talked about it last show, but one of the fish have left. Two fish have left the tank so far. Rachel finally gave up and quit. She didn't get eliminated. She just quit. She couldn't handle it anymore. So she left the show. What, Brandon? You got a confused look?
Weren't there 3?
Only 2. Well,
Jen, Rachel.
Jen doesn't really count because they pulled him like day 2. It was, and they already brought Seth in to replace him. So, and Seth is a contestant. Like, he's not a freeloader. He can still win the grand prize. But Rachel she just gave up and fucking left and quit, which was the best day of my life because I could not stand that human being. Oh my god. It's just a female airsoft fatty. But before airsoft fatty, like, started taking care of himself and like actually making him a better person. And then the other person who left was Angelina. She lost the candy challenge. The candy challenge is always funny because it's literally just whoever collects the most candy wins the challenge. But it gets brutal because it goes for like 4 or 5 days and people are stealing. It was nasty at a couple points in time. People were going a little ham. But yeah, so she left. Fun fact about Angelina, she went off the show. And she was like, all right, I'll start streaming on Twitch. It was cool. We'll take some of this fame and try to, build a community out of it. She got banned on Twitch on her first live stream. You know why? She slipped the camera, dog.
Wow.
This dummy started like fixing something on her desk and was wearing a shirt. It wasn't super low cut, but it was like loose. And so as she was bending over, not wearing any bra, and just straight up, it was like, what the fuck? You idiot!
That's crazy. Don't
already
send
banned
that.
on Twitch, cannot
please
fucking ever stream over there. Yeah, I will send you guys a Twitter link later in the
want you to send me that link
I
so
will
I can
definitely
avoid it.
not do that. I will make sure I do not send that to you guys. I promise.
I want to make sure I avoid that.
And I'm gonna be honest, you're not missing much either. It's just not good. But yeah, so that's what everyone is like. Wow, you fucking dumb cunt. Like, how are you fucking that oblivious that you get kicked off the one thing that might make you money after the show? So that was pretty funny to watch. But
she's going to kick.
Probably, honestly. But yeah, so that's I guess probably kind of all the things that came up from the past week in the tank. Bam was the big one. That was obviously very cool to see.
That was sick.
I'm not watching
more.
live, right? Over the weekend, I wasn't watching live. I downloaded all of as many Cucumber Feet episodes recaps as I could for the plane rides.
That's actually pretty smart. Yeah,
That's crazy.
Yeah, but when I saw that Bam entered, I really thought it was a freeloader. I didn't catch it live because, again, if I go live, I would have known that Rachel and Angelique were off the show, right? I didn't want to do that. So, yeah, I hearing that he was only there for a couple hours, like, damn it, dude, I wanted him as a freeloader.
And it definitely was one of those things, like, They have this at times where they have freeloaders and then they have like guests who kind of pop in for a day or two, and kind of Alex Stein is a reoccurring bit. I really hope he comes
Frank
back.
Castle,
I always love when Alex Stein's on the show. But it was a little sad. You could definitely tell he was like, all right, I'm kind of over this. I want to get the fuck out of here.
Yeah. Okay.
But to his credit, he came back today and, spent another hour in the tank. Obviously, he was already up in that area, so he's like, fuck it. All right, we'll go back. And I do wonder how much they paid him, because I guarantee you they paid him a large sum of money to come up there and do that. But it was cool to see. It was kind of like all right, Fishtank isn't this weird underground subculture thing anymore. It's kind of like a thing on the internet that people know about now.
They got my version of an A-list celebrity.
Fair enough.
So, do you know how Shane Gillis brought it up on JRE, right? What if they hit up Shane? What's the possibility of them getting Shane Gillis to show up for a couple hours?
So let's break down the fourth wall a little bit. Sam and Shane know each other. They're both comedians who have been in that world for a long time. Now, how well they know each other, I bet they're probably not like close friends or anything, but they've definitely run across each other. There was some TTSs that were asking, Jason Goldstriker what his thoughts on Shane Gillis were. Now, normally, if you ask Jason Goldstriker what his thoughts on a celebrity are, he's going to rip them to shreds. He didn't do that with Shane. He was instantly like, cool. Shane's cool-ass guy. Yeah, funny dude. Hey, new show on Netflix. Go check it out, guys. Sam Hyde does not shill for other people. So that told me that he saw what Shane did and kind of was like, all right, I respect you. You're putting me on the map a little bit. You're talking about me with JRE. So, yeah, I think there's
the ultimate
there's
shout
something going on there a little bit. And it was hilarious, too, because during that JRE episode where Shane brings it up, Ari Shafir tries to instantly downplay it, and he's like, oh, it's like Big Brother or something like that. And Joe gets it, because he's like, oh, well, yeah, it's got to be crazy. You can't just have people in a house hanging out, creating a show. That's not how that works. This dude made Fear Factor, right? He's used to people
he knows what
crazy
content
shit.
is.
So that segment was cool. I do feel like there's probably a lot of people who are from that now, which is hilarious, because I was going to bring this up when I brought up Rachel earlier. Rachel came into the tank claiming that she was a super fan, that she's watched all the seasons, she knows everything about the tank. It became clear in about 24 hours she was not a fan of Fishtank. She was a fan of Famous House. And those are two very different things. People who know, when we talked about season 3 last year, they went a completely different direction. They brought in people who didn't know what Fishtank was. They made it like a reality show at first before they finally dropped the veil halfway through and was like, no, you're on a fucked up reality show where people are going to make fun of you for the rest of the day. It was very funny to kind of see, and you're seeing it in chat a bit too, all these people who are, not there from the OGs, not used to this shit. They don't know about the Vance storyline. They don't know about, they don't even know who Josie is, because she's kind of retreated after she won season 1. The other thing, Vance has worked on every single season. He was a contestant in season 1. He started working in production on season 2, season 2.5. He was in it. Season 3, he was production. He's not working on production this season. We haven't seen him bringing around the camera. We haven't seen him bring in toys to fish. Now, the theory is, because they brought Letty back, that he's going to be a freeloader in the tank. And that's why he's not working on production, because they're going to bring him in at a later point in time. So that's the theory. Everyone wants to see our boy Vance. We love Vance. He's a hilarious dude, chill-ass dude, cool-ass dude. And he brings that, like, normal energy to the tank. Like, he's down with all the crazy stuff, but like he's not autistically spurging out like Jimmy is all the time. That's my Fishtank stuff. It's kind of all I got about the show. It's cool to see Letty back. She's a demon as she always was.
Nice.
Letty's the definition of like a Lilith. She is just a devil in, a woman's body. She's insane.
Yeah.
Fuck. That reminds me of one more thing. They did the cell. So every season they do the cell. They lock all the contestants into one room. Last person to win, you leave the money. Freddie did something fucked up that no one's ever done before. So they always in the cell usually have a closet where it's like, all right, if you got to piss, go in the closet and you can pee in a pee bucket. And that way you're still in the cell, but you're not, peeing in front of people directly. Freddie went into the closet, grabbed the piss bucket, and threw it all over the cell. That got a lot of people to leave pretty quick after that because you were just standing in like not ankle water, but it was like your feet were standing in piss the rest of the night. The other thing with the cell, the way it ended was hilarious. It came down to two people, Aria and Durench. Aria and Durench decided, or production decided, hey, we need to end this. You guys got to leave the cell. Rock, paper, scissors. Whoever wins, they win the cell. Aria wins it. And he's like, oh, fuck yeah. All right, sick. He walks out of the cell. That's a dumb mistake. You don't walk out of the cell first. Because he walked out of the cell first, Durench was the last person in the room. She instantly won the challenge. And it was funny because Ben has this moment where she says that to him, and he's like,
uh-oh.
She did just win. Yeah, fuck. Aria, you walked out. Like, we didn't say it was over. Damn, okay. Durench win. And you can tell even he was like, I respect that. Okay, good shit. So yeah, that was probably the only other big moment from it. But yeah, Fishtank.live. Say faggot for free. Go buy a season pass. It's $10.
Worth every penny.
I say faggot for free right now.
Yeah, I bought the season pass when it was $60. All right, $10. I'll buy that all day, every day. It's easy.
I mean, that's a season pass for Call of Duty. Not bad.
Yeah, and this one actually like gives me content I like enjoying in.
Oh, that's a fact.
Not just like some big Nicki Minaj skin or some shit.
Oh no! Whoa! First of all, Nicki Minaj skin, that's $27.50.
Oh, my bad. That's a good point. You have to buy the XL season pass on the Fishtank website.
Yes, XL season pass with the double layer to it, where you get Nicki Minaj, you get Snoop Dogg. I don't know who the fuck else is in. I think Freddy Krueger's in there now.
Hell yeah. Damn. But yeah, so boys, I think that's most of the stuff we got to talk about tonight. Good little recap episode. Again, we talked about paintball for way too much, but hey, that happens. This is the one time it happens. We had an event. It's got to be a fast one, man. We're already a little bit over tonight.
I couldn't do it justice.
Okay, then hold on to it. Write it down on your notes page. We'll bring it up next week for sure.
Oh, all right, Brent.
Don't
forget that.
Yeah, that's not a post. That's a
show
on the show.
All right, we'll put it down on your note sheet, and we'll make sure we get to that next week. But yeah, boys. So we do got to bring the show a little bit to a close. But before we do that, like we do every week on the show, we need a cool guy of the week. So Brandon, who's this week's cool guy of the week?
Dude, cool guy of the week. We mentioned him earlier. Dude, this is Drew Irvin. He again saved us. He came in. Friend of the show, listener of the show. How we were introduced with him. It was our first year semi-pro, right? Friend of Nick Horn, who used to play with us on D3. They both came over, introduced himself to us. Awesome, helped us in the pit, and from then on, at the events, we always say hi.
He's one of the boys.
One of the boys, yes. And he ended up. We didn't have any pit help. We had Gavin's dad, and that was it. We asked for pod runners, didn't hear anything back. Drew ends up showing up Friday morning.
Dude, at 8:50, and his games are at 4.
Yeah, last games of the day.
Right.
And he ends up showing up. Hey, I'll pod run for you guys. I'll help whatever you guys need. Both games, awesome. There all day, whatever. Like for both days of us, we ended up staying Saturday and the whole team help pit for his team for both of his games on Saturday. Woke up early, went and pit for their Sunday game, which unfortunately they lost.
You can't do them like that, Drew. Come on.
Yeah,
that's kind of the commitment. If a team's gonna get up early to come pit for you, you better win that game for those boys.
And it was very funny pitting for those guys. Those guys were not you, dude. We were the Impact pit crew.
Yeah, you guys know what the fuck you're doing.
We are a 5-star pit crew, right? to where it's like the second a guy comes in, boom, give me your gun.
Give me your gun. Someone's wiping him down.
Dude,
right?
Guns
So
in
they
his
just have to
hand.
walk over, listen to what the coach says, and get back out there.
So
Right.
yeah, they're playing D3X ball, right? And we don't. The only the person that we all know is Drew.
Drew.
That's it. We don't know anyone else. It was just we showed up like, hey, we're here to pit. Like
That would be funny.
we need
Imagine his
help?
teammates who were just like, yo, do we have pit
Who the
help?
fuck's this guy?
And Drew's like, I got it. And then all of a sudden, a semi-pro team, and not to mention you guys, like you said, Impact's pit crew essentially come over like, what do you need? And it's like,
Literally,
Drew,
exactly
you're the
like that.
man.
Right, and they were not used to that. One of the guys, like, he was definitely getting flustered because he didn't have his gun right away in his hand. Right, he's like, dude, where's my gun at? Where's my gun at? But it's like, obviously, we're taking care of it to where, dude, just go back to the coach, listen to what he's gonna say, take your breather. We will handle everything else for you. We'll put the pods on your back. Literally, you just gotta get in the pits, go up, put your hands up, spin around, and you're done.
Don't even stop. Just keep walking.
Yeah.
We'll follow you.
Yeah, and that's what you see
And
on
they
the pro
were
field
not
side.
used to that.
It's you guys
were not
walk
used to
in,
that.
it's gun off to someone's following him, making sure the hits are off, and then it's straight to coach. And because that's who he needs to be talking to. A player needs to be figuring out what he either fucked up on, what he didn't do game plan for the next point. Like, yeah, that's the valuable time you need in the pits. So no, that's fucking awesome to hear. Yeah, that's cool, boys. Shout out to Drew.
And
Shout out to Drew.
and if you want to share the what he said to you, Hatch.
Oh, dude, no joke. This was next level. I thanked him and I was like, Drew, like without you, we would have been fucked. Like I am telling him, and I gave him a Hormesis band because dude, like it meant so much to me genuinely, right? To have a guy that has his game so late in the day to wake up that early and help us, and he's like, dude, I'm like, dude, if you ever need anything, like I got you, and he's like, dude, I'm just trying to be just like you. It's like you say, I'm just trying to give back to the paintball community, and I was like, God damn, that shit hit, bro. Right? Because it was just one of those things that it was full circle for me. It was awesome. So there's that reason why Drew is the cool guy of the week.
I was gonna make a joke, but we're not gonna give any light to that.
No, hit it.
So no. I'll make it on the post show. But yeah, cool guy of the week, Drew Irvine. I saw his post that he made over the weekend. I didn't know the whole backstory. That's fucking awesome. Shout out to you, Drew. Thanks for taking care of my boys. Code word of the week, Catch.
Goldfish, forgot to talk about it, but it's goldfish. The reason why
Goldfish.
the reason why we came back in that BR Factory game is because Paul's like, all right, boys, fuck that. We ain't coming out flat. Goldfish. Forget about the last 3 points that just happened. I know we just got mollywopped, but let's get back out there. And we all took that. We said, psh, yeah, let's run it.
Hatch has got like a 75% hit rate on his code words. When they hit hard.
good.
It's just every
That's pretty
now and
good.
then there's one that kind of.
I
we
forgot.
didn't get to that. It
I'm
happens.
sorry, I forgot. I talked about the match, but I forgot that exact story.
But I will say, your code words, ever since you've dedicated yourself to just writing it and walking away, they've been getting better. So I do appreciate that.
I try. You know,
You're
so,
putting
hey,
thought into it.
The reason why we say goldfish is because, guys, a goldfish's memory is like 25
We've
seconds.
talked about this
and then it gets
multiple
reset.
times. Our podcast
I know.
audience know.
I just got to make sure and reiterate, just in case there's any new viewers, and that if you're staying this long, we love you.
Well, hell yeah. All right, boys. So that's all the big things we got to talk about. I got to remind you guys real quick, if you're listening to the show, you made it this far. We appreciate that. One thing you can do to support us, it's absolutely free. Just drop a rating on the show. 5 stars, whatever app you're on. As I always say, it helps us look better in the algorithm. More people are going to listen to the show, and it's completely free to do. It takes 10 seconds of your time. So please, it would mean a lot to us if you did go and do that. The other thing is make sure you subscribe to the show. So whatever platform you're listening to us on, Apple Podcast, Spotify, YouTube, just make sure you hit that follow button or subscribe button. You'll get a notification when the next one is live and ready to go. We also got the Patreon, patreon.com/Mafia_Productions. That's where we're going to go and do the post show in just a few seconds. We're going to get into that, and that's going to be only for our paywall members over there. And
It's good.
If you're listening to this, the next show we are going to be doing our raffle giveaway. So for our Patreons for the month of June, we've got some Hormesis product, we've got a welt strap. We're going to be giving those away to all of our paying members over there. So make sure you're signed up on a paying account. We appreciate you for signing up, but this is for people who are paying us, people who are supporting us, helping us take care of our Adobe bill, our Autopod bill, our Riverside bill, because these things are not free. But
You got decent odds, people.
Thanks to our Patrons, we're able to make it happen. So, seriously, head over there, check it out for yourself. We're going to be doing that raffle giveaway in this next week, so be on the lookout for that. And then lastly, we got our sponsors. So just remind you one more time about NECTR.energy. If you need some energy for the field, for your drive home, for your flight home, it's great. Any time of the day, NECTR.energy, head over there. Use promo code MafiaProductions for a buy two, get one free. WeltsClothing.com, promo code FTS. Save yourself some money at checkout. Welts Wednesday's coming on up, and we're getting through June. So is that next week, actually? I think.
Next week.
Yeah, next week. It'll be the first Wednesday of the month. So
coming out.
yeah, you got to check it out, boys. And then lastly, Hormesis Paintball. Appreciate you guys over there, the old school kind of goats of the game, doing some cool things. So yeah, check out Hormesis Paintball when you got time. Check out Hormesis Productions. Go watch All That Matters again. Fuck it. Give it another view. It's great.
Show a noob.
That's going to be it, boys. We're going to be getting into the post show in just a second here. So for my co-host, Stephen Hatch, Brando, Baird, this has been From the Sidelines, episode number 152. And we will see you guys on the next one. Hatch, do that thing you do.
Bye.
See you guys later.